Welcome everybody, this is Evelyn. I have like 4 of my messages of the day for you and the 7-deck read on the table here. Lots of cool messages came through, so if you can't watch it all in one sitting, I would definitely advise you at least go through the messages of the day because there's definitely messages for everyone there. And we're going to roll the die. We're going to do oracle cards at the end. Let's go ahead first and take a few deep breaths. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. Letting out all the fear. And one more deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings to everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and thank you so much for joining me today. It's not bad here today. It's not freezing, but it's not very sunny out either. It was this morning. Looks just kind of blah outside right now. But it's a good day, lots of good energy. And let's go ahead and roll the die first. Today is the 21st of January, and it's 2:34 on the clock. I know 1, 2, 3, 4 shut the door came up in the reading as well. And we started at 2:32, which is actually a route near me, and that's come up several times. And it leads it to the countryside, to a very nice town on the river. So if that's a message for someone, I just wanted to put it out there. Let's go ahead and roll the die for January 21st, 2023. So we have Virgo over here, which is all about the purification process. And we have Uranus here, so there could be sudden changes or sudden events coming up here. This is also Aquarius energy. And then we have the 11, which is, sorry about the hair. We have 11, which is justice, which is also Libra energy, truth, balance, and alignment. And the 11, of course. And so Libra, Aquarius, and Virgo. And Aquarius is a fixed sign, Libra is cardinal, and Virgo is mutable. So there's a nice balance right there of energies. And definitely erring on the side of air. So airy is coming up here. Aligning with sudden events and purification. And also Virgo's right in the middle, so there is a stabilizing energy there with the 6. All right. So we have my first, and all 4 of the messages of the day are done with a different arrangement of different decks. So they each have a different twist to them, and they each have very cool messages that came through. So if you can, watch all of them, maybe not in one sitting, but come back to it later for the messages, okay? Here's the first read. We have the energy deck at the top, Metatron second, the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook third, my half deck of Rider-Waite, which is the characters in it, as the 4th deck. Actually, this has 6 here. I use my Lenormand KIPPER mix deck. So I put both of those decks are together in that 5th row. And then the bottom is that galactic deck. I'm trying to think of the name of that deck. I can't think of it offhand. I did bring it up recently. I'll try to remember to put the name of it down below if I haven't already. Yeah, I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer too so you can see these, since there's a lot of decks in this one. Okay. You see how the pyramiding came out again for the Rider-Waite. And there's the galactic deck there at the bottom. I think it's STARSEED. I can't think of it. It might be Starseed Tarot. I can't remember though. Okay, so that's the first one. What is today? Today's Saturday. I don't know why I have to bring that up, but that might be something someone needed to know. And I was just looking at OMEC. When I took a ceramics class many, many years ago, when I think I was pregnant with my daughter actually, I made little ceramics for each of my nieces and nephews regarding their character. And I made for my son OMEC because he used to love watching that game show. And he used to say, what did he say? Or, I can't remember what he said. But it was called Matthew's Mantra. And I just looked at that. So if somebody needs to know something about the need to meditate or to go within, or maybe OMEC need to come up for somebody. Let's see here. So I started these reads on the 19th. Today's the 21st. So the 19th, 20th, and 21st, these 4 reads I did, plus the 7-deck read on the table. And on the 19th, I was up at the time of my birthday, and that may be significant for you guys as well, right? The time of your birth. It was a rainy day. And the first deck here was the energy deck, was at 9:59, which is the 9 of the Hermit, the 59 of the 5 of Swords, the War Within, and of course the Hermit's about going within, so dealing with those energies. And then the other decks went on to 10:01 through 10:06. And the CB language was coming up again, like 10:4, but 10:1 through 6 were coming up 2 days, not just 1 day, but 2 days. So you can look them up if you'd like, but they will come up in this message as well. So Metatron was 10:01, the Wild Unknown was 10:02, the half deck was 10:03, and the Lenormand KIPPER deck was 10:04, 10:04. 10:05 to 6 was that last deck, the Galactic or Starseed deck. And the numbers that came up at the end for each pile, because I have the underlying energies on the left and the piles I need to count for numbers on the right, and I usually draw 3 cards in between. Sometimes I'll let them just come out organically. If it's not 3 cards, it just came out organically, and then I counted the cards at the end. So this one was 5, 7, 2, 4, 3, 5. And of course that big a number doesn't usually bring up any entries in gematria. But BZ came up, capital B, lowercase z, which is benzoyl, which just stated that it's odorless and non-irritating and delayed symptoms several hours after contact. And I was also looking at 57, 24, 35 as the numbers. So 57 is the 3 of Swords, and 35 is the Wounded Warrior, with 24, which comes up as the space between in one of the decks. But it's also the Queen of Wands and Omega and the Pleiades. And again, this energy of separation in the Wounded Warrior with the space between, which is that crowning energy as well of Omega. So 57, 2 or 4, the 35, or the separation 2 or 4, the Wounded Warrior. And then I looked up 5735, which the entry was, oh my God, no wonder you are all afraid to run into me, my crazy woman. So that was a very interesting revelation there. The second entry there was, Stephen Richard Ashton knows Babylon will fall if New York floods. And then 72 is coming up as well as the 72 and 72, 144. So I looked up 72, which the first entry is Black Adam. Then Balance, then Malachi, and then Mana came up. Then Beep, as in beep. And then the next entry was I'll be back. And I'm getting Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. Also the Hierophant with the 4 of Pentacles come together with the Hierophant. So with themselves or another energy of Hierophant energy, which is traditional society, or that can be guidance or tradition. It can represent God, but societal's God, not the God that you directly connect with, if you know what I mean. So this energy of the Four of Pentacles, which is being very humble, holding on, being practical, and it can be hoarding, but it's not that message here. It's the energy of practical, and the Hierophant is Taurus. So it's that practical energy of, of being practical, of saving and being balanced with the way you spend your money, or being more humble in the way you deal with superficial things or owning things. But for the wounded warrior to come together with the Hierophant, so Hierophant to self, that could be Taurus to Taurus. There's also going to be two leaders coming together, which that's so funny. When I was on a cruise once, you know how you get assigned to a table on cruises and you end up sitting with those people every night. Well, we got assigned to sit with the priest and the rabbi. So you can imagine how interesting that conversation was. So yeah, that's coming up right here. So there may be that kind of energy of two like religious leaders coming together, which they have recently actually. Yeah, that was like the Dalai Lama with Tutu getting together, which I brought up recently. So I looked up the CB codes, and 1027, which came up here, was I am moving to channel. So that in CB language would be announcing your departure. But I love that it said I am moving to channel. So someone might be moving into their channeling abilities, or moving literally in order to channel better somewhere else. 1028 was also coming up as identify your station. 1007 is out of service. 1008 was in service. And 1019 was nothing for you. And then I was getting the soup Nazi. 1001 is can't hear you. 1002 is can hear you. 1003 is shut up. 1004 is I agree, like 10:4, message received. And then 10:5 is pass it on, and 10:6 is busy, hold on a second. So as I started the underlying energies here, and the angel of strength with 50, which is the 10 of cups, the family, the happy family, and the 49, which is the sovereign happiness, right? So the single person who's very happy, or your emotional sovereignty, being happy with oneself. The 10 of cups is literally the happy family. The sea serpent, hermit, comes up here, and the 27 of unexpected income, or incoming, and the 41 of the heart wave resonator. The 10 of cups, emotional family strength, self-satisfied at a meet and greet with the 10 of cups family at sunrise. The sacral chakra is always open to create, along with the third eye, sees in urgent confinement, or when you're suddenly feeling confined and want to get out or explode, you know, that kind of inner buildup. There's this energy of spur, like spurring something on, or to paint as well comes up, which to paint was also coming up as to make up your face, put your lipstick or hair on, right, your war paint, so to speak. Or sees urgent confinement or sudden confinement due to spur, painting, or need to fix oneself up. As the hermit sheds light on 27, which reflects 72, and then that energy of the two numbers, because as I brought up before, the 7 is very much like the old way of writing the gamma for gamma ray. It used to look like a boomerang, like a 7, but in more of a boomerang shape. And then 2, if you write it quickly, it often looks like the capital letter Q. So it was coming up as the boomerang in Q. And Q, of course, references the egg and the sperm as well, and the quantum leap. And the 7 boomerang also references a ship that I saw in the shape of a boomerang, and it's also the key and the ray. There's a lot of energy in there. And it was also giving me, the two together were giving me very similar energies to the symbol that Elena Danaan uses in her symbol for the World Federation. The Federation of Worlds. And the symbol that's used is kind of like a C. I did a rough drawing from Elena's book, but that's the rough symbol of what the Galactic Federation of Worlds symbol is. So there's that like boomerang energy around this C energy. And the circle in the middle, it has seven markers on it, or stars or legs, with dots at the ends. And it reminded me of a clock. And they can also reference the whatchamacallit man, you know, the Michelangelo. Or is that Da Vinci? Now I'm blanking out. But anyway, I think you know what I'm talking about. The whatchamacallit man who's standing up with his legs spread. So, but anyway, a lot of the symbols from her book I was looking up because they were coming up for whatever reason. So I ended up going to page 323, which was the corporate of Altair, where she describes one huge Antarctica base in the North Sea, Irish Sea, and Indian Seas. And this section of her book was describing where they're set up, like Galactic Federation of Worlds. There's different bases here between Iceland and Ireland, East Pacific, South Pacific, North Pole, and offshore Alaska. And then the Orion League from Alnatak, Betelgeuse, and Maisa, which are affiliated with the GFW. And the Andromedan Council came up there as well, and their symbol as well as Ashtar Galactic Command. And then on page 333, when I first looked at it, the first thing I saw, because there's the map of the constellations, Delta Bootes came up below the Theta Bootes and Corona Borealis. Lyra K62 also came up, which references man's system according to her book, and the Taygeta system, which is the Pleiades, which they call Ashara. And again, it looks like a kite with a tail on it, which is Atlas is the tail of the Pleiades, kite shape. Sirius A is Ashkara, B is Thula, C is Ameri. And then I went to page 232 because that root kept coming up, 232. And the Grail came up, as we talk about the Holy Grail all the time, but the Grail are actually a dark energy of grays. And they were listed beneath the Anunnaki, which not all Anunnaki are negative. They're definitely mixed. But the Grail was coming up as Mintaka Delta Orions, with 7 planets, advanced, but they're not enlightened. They like to conquer and ransack. They're very tall, gray, very thin, but very strong. And I related to this. There was this energy, and maybe I have a history of that in me, but they have a very strong electrical nervous system of incredible strength and have 2 genders. So even though they have no bodily strength, they have a nervous system that makes them very strong. And that reminds me of like someone who does karate, right? That quickness of strength, that inner core strength. So, I mean, you can get her book if you want to go into this. I just wanted to bring it up because it was coming up for me to open the book there. And they go into the Anunnaki as well. And Nibiru, which is the Anunnaki planet, means divided from 2. And originally the Anunnakeen, E-N-E. They overcame the reptilians here and became the new rulers. Reptilians escaped underground, and those who couldn't escape, called the Ajiji, or the Watchers, and enslaved for about 2,500 years. The Anu and the Sikar work with and against each other to rule the planet, which, you know, now at this point, we've gotten them off planet. But they were not only working together, you know, to take over the planet, but they were enemies too, right? So they're basically cutting their nose off to spite their face. So I go back to the cards, and there's number 27 again coming up, the reflection of 72. And unexpected income there with incoming as well, unexpected incoming, and Penny was coming up, and Penny happens to be Pennsylvania's insurance marketplace. But the Penny was coming up regarding exchanging hands, from committed to selfish to uncommitted hands, from committed to selfish energies, like, so whoever is in control of this, it's passing hands, like something's changing hands in a bit, like a big organization, and that could reference some of the fleets that in the ET worlds. 41 was also coming up as the heart wave resonator with ecstasy, rapture, flux, and amplification. So at 11:35, which is the 11 of alignment and justice, the 35 of the wounded warrior, the 9 of wands, the underlying energy was the 27 of walking away and within, the 14 of carrying connections, and 35 of the first chakra and Archangel Michael at the root, the 4 of the happy family, the 20 of envy, and 50 of the angel of strength. So these numbers are repeating themselves. 1 leaving 2 or going within, or 2, this could be, February 17th to 14th is coming up here as well, which then hits Valentine's Day. And the wounded warrior roots with the emperor, family or stability, and the envy of the judgmental mother or Aries/Aquarius of the angel of strength with happy family. So there could be a judgmental mother or Aries/Aquarius energy who may be envious of the angel of strength with the happy family. So it could be two families and being judgmental of the other. Perhaps Sagittarius energy taking off, leaving parents or the matriarch of the family, or mother-in-law and her daughter, leaving them behind. So then the time came up 119 on January 19th. So there was a synchronicity right there. And the first card out here was the 1 of the sun, the magician. Gemini, Virgo, Leo energies here. A vacation or a Leo person or ego can be coming up there as well. Or taking a bath. The feminine lioness or a feminine masculine as the dark horse coming up from behind the white horse. The 19 then, again, Leo energy. And the sunny masculine resting and rejuvenating, or perhaps meditation here. The lioness magician and relaxed sun merging together into one. The 17 of the star and the path of AR. And then yesterday, RR came up with rear ender, so that could be coming up for someone as well. Or rewind, or railroad could be coming up as well. And railroad came up today as well, the train came up. Dreams coming true and healing taking place. The lioness pillar of strength, or the strong matriarch of the family, right, who's being strong, versus the envious dark mother kind of pillar of the family. We're coming up here. Or somebody could be on vacation or in the sun or planning one, and or the pool. Fiery water and grounded air coming together here. Action or act connection, where the 1 remembers the leap or the arc, dot to dot. And the 17 and 19 cards came up here, which of course then you have to look at the space between, which is the 18 of the 0 point field. And 18 is also the 10 and the 8 of Chi. So we have the star and the sun with the moon between, and the leap to 17 and 19 with the space between, the double leap to the 7-9 pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, the leap, the arc, the rainbow bridge, all coming up as that same kind of energy at 12:05, which is the hanging man, and the 5 of freedom, change and expansion, or the Hierophant. 5 is romance and kids and pets as well. There were 5 cards then, and the 5th chakra. The 39 of the 9 of cups, Gabriel energy here, and the 16 of patience at 10, 11 to 12. So 10, 11, 12 comes up here, which can represent 6D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which would be 5D, and then 10, 11, 12, which would be 6D. Then number 7 came up with the community after 16, which is a 7, 16/7. The community in living color with 29, the world, and 46, the thinking man. The Knight of Cups throat chakra activated with sudden patience with community in living color. Those without liberties or wings that have been clipped come alive again, or Mercury's boomerang as it went direct effect. Suddenly social, or speaking the truth about and I just noticed too, when I was dealing with that symbol from the Galactic Federation of Worlds, I looked up FQ, which one of the definitions for FQ or synonyms was TF, which of course is twin flames. I thought that was very interesting, FQ. FQ also means French Southern and Antarctic lands, and it references a certain time period, 1974 to 79. So 79 keeps coming up, and then TF represented 1979 to the present, excluding Adelie, A-D-E with an accent. I forget Agu and Grav which way they go, but A-D-E with an accent over it, and then L-I-E is the way that was spelled. So the boomerang effect of Mercury going direct, suddenly social or speaking your truth about or opening up, perhaps someone's opening up about 9/11 and their experience there, or their lack of liberties now from 2020, or always being late, or 11 after 10, or still not at the gate. Scorpio and Cancer, as Lady Liberty fades away, the community becomes more apparent or apparition as all actors on the world stage, present to gifts and taking a step back to see the big picture, the world, waiting for the ship to come in, trying to imagine what it's like for them viewing us from outside of our world. The 46 of the inner child of the thinking man with 2 feathers in his cap. On January 19th, with stars between, the inner wild horses of black and white, merging as one Mr. Ed, or extra-dimensional hybrid. He the sun's rays, she receives. She the earth womb rays responding to them like fingers intertwined. At 12:20, the underlying energy of the Page of Cups, and number 40, the evolution of birthing the new, and the 48 of the void, 21 of indigo star, and 19 the fire dragon, with 49 the family and circles of life. So at 12:21, again the hanging man in the world, the inner child, the new baby, the sweetheart, the new heart, walking away and within to the void, and the symbol of the Om of the 30 with the crown above it, with the arc and the diamond. The void retreat to world of stars, indigo and Pisces child, in divine feminine, divine masculine world, connected as the stars and dragon lines. The pyramid fire in their belly, and the 19 of the sun and the planet, both looking to the central sun, or the void, the Om, the 0 point field, the dot in the middle of the circle where all roads lead home to. The 49 of the family of self-satisfaction, welcoming you at every sunrise like it's vacation every day. A family who's wonderful to wake up to every day. And the 12:26 of the hanging man and the Page of Wands, of hanging out and seeing new perspectives and inspiring each other. The first card of the 44 and the 13 of the beacon, which means be lighter, to the bird with wind beneath their wings, flying free in the transition. This spirit or fire rises as the water waves crash on the earth mountain, the pillar that shines their light up, or lights up, to meet the sun's air rays flying through the air. The 54 of the Page of Swords, Mercury and Gabriel, and the message from the castle on cloud 9, 0 point field, leaving a trail behind in the purple moon, or perhaps the organic magic kingdom. With lilac, which is Lil and Lilith coming up as it went into Leo in January, And then the AC of alternating currents or air conditioning. The grounder and the flyer, and castle makes 3. 4 and 3 cards then came up, 7 altogether. The 4 of the Emperor, the 3 of the Empress, and the 7 of the Chariot, in which they travel to ascend. The 14 of the Boundaries, and the 20 of the Cosmos, the 34 of the Ancestors, and there's that 3-4 coming up again, and the 38 of the Chakra and the Queen of Cups. The angelic sun leaving auric keys on the trail for you. Set natural, loving boundaries, geometric in nature and nature, of arcs and steeples, and connection of home to castle, in a wake-up call to the dodecahedron, where the dodeca and the icosahedrons both deal with numbers 12, 20, and 30 in their points, sides, and planes. Or dodeca can represent 2 tens as well, 2 arcs, twin bridges that mirror each other. The 14 is the 1 and the 4. Remember, the 1 is the leap. It's the 2 dots in the arc. And the 4 is the L and the leap, the lambda leap. So the 1-4 is the leap into the lambda leap, or the lamb or the Christ to the Father, leap home. And then the Q comes up with the 2 and the 0 of 20, the 2 at 0 point field, knowing how to get back from there. So you can't go somewhere without knowing how to get back home, whether it's directions or how to actually do it. Child with father, and the seed here, and the mother at the 0 point, or the womb. The key to the dodeca with 34, the 3 and the 4, the ancestors chiming in with the 38, Queen of Cups mother on the whispering bench with activated light body. And the boon coming up here, or being prepared, the cosm, which means to show. To sow. So the boon or the benefit here is the boon, B-O-U-N, of being prepared to sow. Right? You reap what you sow. Be prepared to sow once. And then the chakra coming up here, where S-C-H-A-K means the hand, the arm, the leaf, each, and the color red. And chakra means wheel, circle, point, cycle, and farmland. So be prepared, be ready to sow just once. Each point, each wheel, each cycle, each farmland, in how you farm the field. And that came up recently too. There was a term, which I can't remember right now, which meant that they could plant again right after harvesting without giving the field a rest, which normally they have to. The galactic path to the sun in energetic exchange with the Queen of Cups, with help from the arcing ancestors, like arcing in to bring compassion to you in the sunset every day. At 12:46 to 47, which is the 6 of Cups and the 7 of Cups, of the inner loving children and outer loving children, and then the heaven in their eyes of dreams coming true, of having lots of choices of things you love to do. At 12:49, which is the Hanging Man and the 9 of Cups, where 3 cards were here, the 35 Kundalini, 28 Karma, and the 45 of Endings, where the wounded warrior in their dark night is untying the karmic knots in the double diamond star on the electromagnetic grid with 23 points of DNA. But remember that there's 24 of DNA. The 24th is etheric. You can't see it. The twin flame choice of path, purging endings, where you are held in compassion by your ancestors at sunset each day. At 12:55, hanging out with the truth, or with your ancestors as the shaman, the underlying energy of the snake and the Kundalini. And the collective awakening after the gazelle's truth of the moth to the flame and the butterfly learning to use their new wings. And in this deck, the butterfly literally looks like the bee that got new wings that are much bigger. The collective is overseen here by the unicorn and the whale, clearing dark energies off planet and deep sea, respectively. clearing the sacral chakra or the wheel or the cycle to be free to open with third eye to other worlds. Mr. Ed, which I was talking about God as Mr. Ed, but that can reference extra dimensionals in general, and the graceful gazelle, will and grace, with third eye boomerang, which is like the crescent moon, and the Serengeti, which the Serengeti is the semi-annual largest migration of herds in Africa. And Seren means serene. It means calm in the heat. And as you can imagine, being in that great heat all the time and the desert where there's not much life, you learn to be still, right? To not use up too much energy. The SER of being in serum and to be. Sister, dear, expensive. Sir, Lord, head, to run aground. Seer, S-E-R-E, means dry, barren, worn out, and threads. The threads literally worn out. From community start to the climax of the ecosystem. So that's also, seer means that cycle of from starting a community to then communities building on top of each other until they become this climactic ecosystem. Also referencing the claw or the talon, which then brought up my harmonic egg experience, the first one I did, where one of the situations was a prehistoric bird coming in with their talon, and all I saw in the beginning was their talon massaging something, and I didn't know what it was until the picture panned out, and I saw that it was actually an eagle massaging the elephant's head because they were in love, right? But how are an eagle or prehistoric bird to be together with an elephant? But there was this whole story of I was getting later energies of like an eagle or an elephant, one of them wounded and being taken in by the other's family. So perhaps like a wounded eagle taken in by an elephant family, or vice versa, where they end up growing up together. And there's this love relationship there. It was really a beautiful energy. But it came up again here. Oneself, for oneself, separately, different, diverse, and evening. So that can represent the nighttime, but also the evening of things, being equal. Tight, squeezed, to be, strongly, to great degree, forcefully, hard, fast with speed, and old. And the number 8 came up here as well with all of the Serengeti definitions. And copious, which means abundant, vast, profuse, or full of information, perhaps. So abundant in many ways. Which cracks me up because my maiden name is Cope, and they used to reference, my brothers especially, like in sports and stuff, as Copy. So copious was coming up there. But the calm energy source was coming up in reference to Serengeti. Building to climax by layering community after community, and the talon of the eagle on the elephant, of love playing tag. The old individuals all dried up, but with the energy of source, serene, strong, even, and quick. And again, there's referencing to that electrical system, the nervous system of the body, as opposed to the need for muscle. To a great degree, they are very forceful and copious, full of everything and nothing at all. So again, giving a plug to the ancient ones, the ones who've experienced life. The will of the stallion and the grace of the gazelle. And you notice stallion is the stall lion, right? The lion who's kept in a stall at the starting gate. The stallion. So the stallion horse has the heart of a lion. And then the grace of the gazelle here coming up, right? The gaze of the elephant. But just much more of a feminine energy there. The 17 then came up Tennessee Walker and Holsteiner, which are different types of horses. But I looked them up, and Tennessee and Holsteiner horses were numbers 17 and 18 on this horse list, the star and the moon. And they were both basically best in show. They were good for show horses. And thoroughbreds at heart. Their truth of the moth to the flame, but the butterfly was not prepared for this, right? The moth obviously weren't prepared either because they jumped without thinking first or without being present in themselves. but the butterfly wasn't prepared to receive that either. The busy bee still getting used to their butterfly wings and losing his stinger. He zapped the moth a few times with it, and the moth then needed time to build up their immune system to be ready for the next hit of pollen. In the collective awakening to the unicorn whale, the third eye chakra, and waiting until all clear, like when shocking the heart, and the world can open their doors. After the shock ray entered the heart at 128, the leap to the twins, the octopus teacher in quantum entanglement in the number 8 dance. And October keeps coming up over and over. So there's definitely some kind of culmination or life's work that culminates in October, or something will begin in October. The octopus teacher in the quantum entanglement in the 8 dance. The dance of the masculine and feminine, but instead of disjointed, now becoming in one big flow of the sine wave. The busy mind, where one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, and the seize or seizing of sudden pent-up energies, and again, there's that energy being frozen in time or suspended animation. And then October, the octopus came up here, which is the October opus, or the 8 opus. The life's work is the dance between the masculine and feminine to come together as the twins, where the beautiful mind in all clear, in the shocking of the heart, the waking up of the heart, the two as one heart of coming together with your dear one in your etheric bodies, that is clear. So you had to clear out your etheric bodies first. The oceans need to be cleared this year in 2023 to support the clearing of the air. So the air, it's saying that the air was cleared, and now the emotional bodies or the water bodies are being cleared. So not only emotions, but literally the oceans need clearing this year. They need to be cleaned up. So mind over active and in the dark, a break in the seal, a breach of state. As the octopus gives their life to birth their child, handing their gold coin and their needs to their new child as a human, when you're two as one. So again, and I bring that up all the time, that messages I was given years ago was that we each come in with this gold, Christ unity energy, and the girl comes in with the pink as compassion, the masculine comes in with the green of the physical body health, right? One is more physical health, the other is emotional health. But the mother gives up her gold coin to her child when she births it. And then it's not until she can find herself again, to love herself first, that she can get her gold coin back. So she basically goes into the silver sword energy, which was very interesting. So it was coming up again here, because the octopus dies when it gives birth. But they're relating that to human, not that you're going to die when you give birth, but that you die in the sense that you give your gold coin over to your child, because their needs then become first before your own. When you become two as one, when you birth a child, right? So the feminine understands this relationship because they birth, especially if they've had children. The oyster is with their feelers out here as the pearl is ready to hatch, and the bunny is scared. So again, you see there's lots of bun in the oven type of energies here. At 135 is the leap to the wounded warrior, or the one of the magician, and manifesting the surrender of the wounded warrior. Or the dear one is glowing and the pet is acting strange. The pearl threaded is the divine feminine lineage here. The deliverance of the generations goes through the feminine, the gene rations, the gene ray, the taions of the tiger and the lioness, the tiger lioness totem of the masculine and feminine, the toting M, which the M is 2 1s and the V, which is co-creation. At 139 is the leap to the 39 of the Knight of Cups, or the magician, the divine masculine, and the 39 of offering love. The underlying energy of the emperor who looks back, the wounded warrior at him, and then the page of swords takes a swing at both as the king of wands watches calmly, but the queen of wands looks the other way forward, as she's finding happiness with kids as a mother, or just with her mother, who's a soulmate, or perhaps 2 women, but the Empress The Empress may be with the King of Cups, not the Emperor, unless the King of Cups is the Emperor. Or the Emperor is taking the hit for her. The King of Cups or the Emperor is taking the hit for the Empress from the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth, who may be coming from the Queen of Pentacles, who's turning around and offering her love to the King of Swords, or the Knight of Cups to the King of Swords, as he's given a choice or ultimatum by the High Priestess or higher self or twin flame keeping to themselves, or the Knight of Wands rushing in here with the Queen of Cups focused on love or her heart, with the Hermit's light being held over them. Aries, Sagittarius, and Taurus came up right here, as well as Pisces, Sag, and Virgo. Perhaps the King of Wands the King of Wands could be mad at the Emperor, right? It could be a partner, a son, or a brother as well. But the King of Wands is coming up as mad at the Emperor. Perhaps 2 to 3 fiery grown kids here of the Emperor. But the Queen of Wands found happiness as a mother or with their mother with the King of Cups. So this could be the daughter doesn't want to stay with the father, but wants to stay with the mother and her new partner. While the Queen of Pentacles blocks the King of Cups and offers love to the King of Swords, or her air sign child doesn't like the King of Cups, and the water child does like the King of Swords, or the King of Swords verbally attacks the King of Cups, but the King of Cups only offers love back in return. So they're very well emotionally balanced. Perhaps Virgo and fiery Pisces come into the King of Swords with a couple of offers or choices, and the Hermit lights up what's down below and or the long way down here for someone at 152. The Divine Masculine or the Magician and the Queen of Swords or Lady Liberty. And the Queen of Swords, and that could be a Gemini person as well. The Queen of Swords, lover of justice, which then can be Libra, or Virgo and Libra lovers, which then brings Gemini in there again, or the twins, or the Queen of Swords speaks to Gemini and Libra, or lovers, twins, and justice, or the justice system, or balance and alignment, or counseling for new lovers. The Angel of Strength, family, or with family in the circles of life, is clearing the sacral energies and holding the light at the same time. With strength, love, creativity, and light, and the beautiful mind of the octopus fading to black as the dear one approaches, or lots of air with Virgo, Gemini, and Libra here, the mercurial balance of truth and justice, as Mercury just went direct on the 18th. At 158 is the leap, or the masculine magician, to the 58 of the Four of Swords, which can be rest, a break, or laying something to rest, resting in peace, but it's also meditation in the 5D connection, with 14 cards that came up here in the pyramid. The left side is very sunny and confident, but the right side here is a bit blue, but sky blue, not dark blue. The Page of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles, which can be children or students or just two young earth signs, in a trip or a move to the King of Pentacles or to their father or to a fatherly mother. So they could be moving in with a parent or somewhere else. The Page of Wands is tempted by dark night, the end or transformation of the magician or divine masculine, or as the two groups pass, the Capricorn sovereign and the Gemini or Virgo magic King of Pentacles waves. Perhaps one is driving and the other is in a funeral procession waving a flag or their hands and DNA strands, with Earth and Cancer in one group and the other Fire, Capricorn, Scorpio, and Gemini or Virgo. Perhaps stressed or suffering in silence. Perhaps there's a sister here, or angst between the Page of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles offer that sets them free. So this is like being very guarded about the offer, but then realizing that the offer actually sets them free. Or two siblings worried about third making an offer, or looking for work, or wanting to partner up with their neighbor, Divine Feminine, Pisces, or World. Or Earth family ascending with Magic Child. Or a partner who's excited by the news or delivery and partnering up with the Page of Cups Pisces. At 209, the Divine Feminine, or the higher self, High Priestess, and the Nine of Compassion and the Hermit. And going within, it's also the One and the All. Perhaps the Page of Pentacles is now independent and moving on up to be the King of Pentacles. The Page of Wands is excited by temptation and willing to transform to meet the Magician's expectations. Nervous about the Knight of Pentacles following through and being loyal, setting them free, to partner and travel or connect together with the world in completing a cycle of growth into the Page of Cups, Sweetheart. With lots of earth and water here and a bit or seed of inspiration. With 3 pages and 2 knights, one's dark, sovereign and king, a match, to ascend in the chariot and manifest freedom for the world, or of Pisces at least, one child or heart at a time. At 226, the Divine Feminine, High Priestess, that can be Pisces energy as well. And then the 26th of the Page of Wands. The underlying energy after a cycle complete here, the 21, which again is lots of Pisces energy for me here, the energetic exchange around the mountain of the 26th Page of Wands, and there's this energy of the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands, right? The young inner child of emotion and the lion's heart energy. So then the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords come up. So there's lots of pages here. And the 13 of Transition with great fortune and message. And notice that 13 and 26 just came up, and 13 and 13 is 26. So maybe 2 transitions here, or the need to go there and back. The transition of a child or children, and Power Woman present with gifts and truth, watching out for a message of concern, of patience and balance and a higher love, of Hermit Queen of Swords, perhaps with flowers and gift, and or expectations here at 28, or the 28 of the Twin Flame or Choice of Path. After 9-14 and number 28, 14 and 29, and that children bring great blessings. So there's a lot about children and also birthing children here. The Empress or Mother to travel, or ship stuck on the mountain, or wants to travel to deliver a message of bliss and self-discovery, destined to discern as the Page of Pentacles student or student of life. That can be an invitation or opportunity as well. And the mature man of the world or of the free world, with busy work or occupied by the energetic exchange or the busyness of communication or travel, and sewing. The 38 of the Queen of Cups, the twin bridges back together again, with the 28 of the loving man here, or the Twin Flame, or the Queen of Cups and loving Sun, with a lot of back and forth, with unexpected income or incoming, and inspired, or breathing deeply, or the unexpected incoming Mint, Queen, or hot off the presses, or copper went up. So since copper came up, I had to look it up, and it literally went up a lot, like, because the copper was $1 and it was up like 4.20 or something like that. So you might have gotten a little bit of a financial boost right there. And then the number 27 of 2 to 7 was coming up, which references the sacral chakra to the crown. And also just that energy of that copper went up. And remember that the 2 is the Q of the Queen. And the 7 is that boomerang, or the key. And then again, there's that energy of the Q, which is the birth, right? Because that's the conception of a child, the ovary and the sperm. And then the key of the boomerang, right? To here and back. And I'm getting 20 and back, but I'm not getting it in a negative sense. But the energy around this is that conception is key. The 44 of Hercules then, which references her harvest. And examining her harvest, seeing it closer, the details, the makeup of something, the grounding, integrating, and mastering, or reverse engineering And then the 37 of the King of Cups. So again, reverse engineering is basically taking something apart to put it back together to learn how it's done. The 37 is the King of Cups with timelines and inspired to make a change, right? They may have a time limit here. Controlling every aspect of emotions with time to spare for the Fox Sagittarius to take off to the countryside or social work, or unconditional love with Saggy Fox leaving their house or leaving the hen house behind, or maybe they're leaving the country or the ranch house behind, or Sagittarius leaving the King of Cups behind for higher love. Or the inspector came and Sagittarius took off as money exchanged hands. So there's something illegal going on right there. Perhaps witnessed a deal going down and needs to go into the witness protection program, or did in the past. And then the movie Witness is definitely coming up here with the, Witness was, if you didn't see it, was about the Amish boy who had to go into the witness protection program. I think they did, I forget. But anyway, that energy was coming up here. So the movie Witness and the Amish boy are going back to where you once belonged, with 3 cards here, 11, 26, and 11 again, of justice and cracking the whip with the Page of Wands, cracking codes of the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or cracking the safe to hit the jackpot. So this could be someone stealing. But maybe they cracked the safe to hit their own jackpot, right? Maybe they just figured out the codes. But there's justice here and sudden wealth, or a lottery win for somebody. At 252 is the higher self or divine feminine, and the 52 of the Queen of Swords. Or figuring out family wounds here is like hitting that jackpot when you find the entry wound. And there's that energy of when it just clicks like a safe. When you find the right code, or you fight the right code, when you find the right code and the safe just clicks, it's the same thing as finding the entry wound here, that all of a sudden it just releases and opens up. Or the rod and staff with journal entries and finding what others missed, the missing piece. And I was actually watching Attorney Wu last night. I don't know what the title of the show is, I forget. But it's really cute because she's autistic and just she's really smart about seeing things that other people can't. And here's that missing piece of the puzzle. The 1111 with the Page of Wands between. The polarities aligning and the safe cracks open. The seed, the key, the inspiration or breath. Remember, inspire is breathing in. The breath into the space between. The truths, the justices. His, hers, and the truth in the spark of the moment where it just clicks into place. With 777 coming up here, and if you smush the 7s together, they become an M. The 3 boomerangs, or the 3 crescent moons, or 3 20s in back. It did come up here. I forgot that I wrote this. So 3 crescent moons, or 3 20s in back, which would be 60 years of off-planet work, and a wake-up call like no other. After 60, finding peace on the Serengeti, the serene energy of source. So again, that came up with being an elder, right? So you may not have the physical strength of the youngins, but you have the strength of life experience, of being serene in that 0 point space. You have the energy of source streaming through you. The quarterback of 3 moons, which is the quarter of a year, or 13 weeks or transition of the 26, which is 13 and 13 is 26, is halftime there. And the 39 of the Knight of Cups is the way home to the 52 of Lady Liberty, or Scorpio, inspired to get home to the Queen of Swords here. There's co-creation here with 3 booms. You rang, the third eye blasting open, and 777, the crowning of 3,000 suns, or hitting the jackpot of 21, our world. With the divine feminine and divine masculine, that equals 3, because the 2 coming together aren't just 2, but exponential. The 3, that star of Bethlehem, the double diamonds, the supernova of the 2 stars becoming 1 in a supernova experience, an explosion of such magnitude that causes all to become 1 again. The booms of transition 13 of 2 humans. The 13 and 13 of 26 is significant here. And remember, 26 is half of 52, which is that golden, that golden degree. And all people use, like when you make a what do they call the pyramids that neutralize energy? When you use copper and stones, and then some kind of polyester material, you are able to neutralize the stone. But they actually make the wires like in like inches or centimeters of 52 and divisions of 52. So it's a very significant line of numbers. So 13 is coming up as that line of number because, of course, 13 is a prime number. It doesn't divide smaller than that. So we have the 13, 26, 52, 65, 78. Is that right? And then 80, 91. I don't know if I'm getting that right anymore. But 52 and 52 is 104. So ultimately it becomes 104. Yeah, that's right. 91 and then 104. So the transition of 13 of 2 humans embodied by Source to co-create with Sophia. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Sophia, Sophia, Sophia. So expansive and contracting in the human connection. That's literally Sophia. So, phi. And then the A is the human embodiment of Source with connections. So lucky to find a sweet heart. At 310, which is the 3 of the Empress, the 10 of, which is also abundance, the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune and destiny, high vibration, the trill, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and agate was just coming up. And the agony of the defeat. So somebody's feet are coming up here. And agate, maybe agate on your feet is going to help. So try that. I've also been massaging my, I meant to bring this up anyway. My left, it came up earlier today as the heel, but I keep massaging the left inner sole of my foot. It's definitely on the left side because it was feeling really tight in there. But I was getting a message today that it has to do with the heel, a bad heel. So somebody's bad heel or feet are coming up, the feet. So, so try that stone. The numbers 80, 44, 4, and 41 all came up here, which is a lot of 4s. And of course, 8 is 2 4s. And with Epiphany, quantum continuator of abundance and fluidity, or self-sustaining systems, which is her harvest here. The cellular light, the simplicity of self-illumination, and bioluminescence, which is also the number 4, which is the Emperor. And the heart wave resonator. So the heart wave coming up as the sine wave and resonating with that S wave, which is Sophia, or the Divine Feminine, the connection to the heart, with ecstasy, rapture, flux, and amplification. The 41 is the Ace of Cups, or the Holy Grail, the hole at the Y in the road, which is the 0 point field, and the Grail is the G rail, which is that tunneling effect of the spiral in the 0 point to Source. So at 317 is the Empress and the 17 of the Star, where the first card out here was called the Altairian Stargate, which I brought up Altair from Elena's book earlier. So the Altairian Stargate, and then the number 47, which is the heart to the crown chakra. 47 is also the 7 of Cups. Seeing synchronicities, having lots of options, seeing heaven in your eyes, having dreams coming true. The energy of neutrality, diplomacy, negotiation, and philosophy here. In the heart to the crown, and Altairian Stargate. The 30, as you may have a connection to Altair. The 39 of the Knight of Cups and the harmonic oscillator of timing, rhythm, synchronization, and frequency. The 2 of adenine and thymine, and again taking us back to the DNA, and duality, contrast, trust, and balance. And page 88 came up here of Aquila. So I went back to her book again, because Aquila is Altair, and that referenced the eagle. the eagle's coming up again. And it was on page 88, which is the two twins dancing side by side, already acclimated to their own inner dance, waiting to come together into union. The pale yellow star, called Alcoran in many races with mixed intentions. So there's a lot of different species on this planet or system here. Reptilians, humanoids, and greys. And this is again from Elena's book. That's Elena Danan, Danaan. The 6th and 7th D Altarians do not nourish interest in conquest or agendas. However, there is a collaboration between the Kahori humanoids from the 4th planet, Orion Grey Collective, and Terran military presence of US-Telos. The ships there are all sizes and shapes. There wasn't one specific one pointed out. And on Terra in Egypt, or Earth in Egypt, the pyramid of Esna, E-S-N-A, represents Altair. And then HQ is coming up here, which is headquarters of the reptilian collective, quote-unquote corporate, in the Altair system. Akori humanoids are not Lyran, but they're very close, from Altair and Vega, but often mistaken for Pleiadians, and they're not. So it's not good or bad because there's lots of mixed races on Altair. So there's that eagle connection. And that 329 is the Empress, and the 29 of the Three of Wands. That last one was, they're connected to the GFW, but they're not trustworthy. So it's like they're connected to GFW through another connection. So, but they're not really trustworthy there. They were talking about the Akori humanoids. A-K-H, she spelled them A-K-H-O-R-I-I. She also listed the Onorhai, O-N-O-R-H-A-I, that are benevolent, 6', 70 tall, brown-haired, long tan skin, and orangey skin. It's got orangey tone. Small brown slanted eyes. There's no white or black in the eye, though. No pupil or white of the eye. She also said no eyelashes or brows, and they have 3 fingers with a thumb. Their ships are white glowing spheres, and that's the Onorai. I want to say A, but she writes O-N-O-R-H-A-I. And then another one she listed was Darthar, D-A-R-T-H-A-R, which is 3rd planet of 4 moons, which was significant because one of the cards comes up as 4 moons. So it could be referencing this planet in that system. They have 4 moons. They're shorter than us. Some skin, or same skin, eyes and hair as the Onorai, but with a pointy nose, because the Onorai had more of a flat nose. 6th, 7th density again, and they live only about 40 years due to the fast spinning of the planet. Also not part of the Altara Humanoid Alliance, which still were not trustworthy. And then she went into the Arcturians as well, the Ahura, of 7th and 9th density, 3 groups which were very high vibrational. And the Elfaf and the Elfin were coming up for me. That's why I wanted to bring this up. E-L-F-F-A-F, who are very peaceful, and they have 4 genders. They have dome-like ships, and they only study geology and things like that. And there's Bootian energies from the Boot stars. The Anak, though, the Bootians, are like ferocious reptilians, A-N-A-K, and they smell like rotten rust. And that came up in another way today. And the Carina, or GFW, have a facility in Massachusetts underground. And their ships are shiny chrome looking. And they kind of look like a carrot with jet engines on the back of the carrot. So back to the cards is 47, 39, and 2, or 2, 39, and 47, or back to 39, which is the Knight of Cups, and 47, which is the dreams and synchronicities. The Divine Feminine Knight of Cups synchronicities, and the Heart to the Crown, the Holy Grail, with 5 cards, 81, 73, 16, 30, and 46. With universal understanding to end the karmic cycle, the 5 of Pentacles, and the linear sequencing, the hierarchy, the time and logic here of the hierarchy. The 16 of the Tower and the seal of evolutionary colors and progressive awareness, multi-dimensional change, and the 30 of subatomic velociter, acceleration, stimulation, excitation, and home union. The 46 of the Lyran Stargate of ancestry, courage, wisdom, and empathy were all coming up here. And by the way, the boots, Arcturus, the symbol looks like the Merkaba. So if you see that, maybe you'll know it'll help you identify an Arcturian. So Pieces of a Woman, that movie came up this week, which is all about of going through a very difficult situation and having a child. So there's a lot about birth right now and the wounds of giving birth that a man doesn't usually understand because they haven't experienced it. And it was really interesting too because, you know, I'm not giving away the movie when I tell you she lost her child, because it wasn't really about the loss of the child, because that was near the beginning of the movie. But she was grieving the whole movie, but she was always calm. But the husband wasn't. He was very scattered and reaching, you know, for things to fix him, like, you know, addictions and things like that. But no matter what, she stayed calm. But you can watch that if you haven't watched it before. It's actually the second time I watched it. And I definitely saw it in a different way this time than I did the first time. So yesterday when I got up, this is my second read that I'm giving you. This first part, I don't have the picture for it, but I tell you, there wasn't many cards. It was just from like 7 cards that I pulled out in the morning just to get the energies. And it was a whole long message that came up, really cool energies that came up. So I'm not going to show you, but I'll give you the cards. And like I said, it's not a whole big spread like I usually do. I woke up yesterday at 10:08, which is that Chi energy of the 10 and the 8. And October 8th was always a day that I found significant, but I never understood why. So I had laid out these cards the night before. And when I went into them to just get a quick message, it went into some really cool messages that came up here. The energy of underneath, in the underlying energy, was the crow, the lamb, the cosmic egg, the elephant and the whale, the deer, the sea serpent, the octopus, the dragon, the hardworking bee and beaver, and twin swans, vulture and elk, and the dolphin backing up the crow for the lamb and the cosmic egg. It was coming up like as a young innocent energy, coming in as a 3D gate holder, or like holding space for the masculine. Even like a pet could be coming up for that. On the ground with the collective. The elephant and the whale, so again, the 2 largest animals, right? Elephant on earth and the whale of the sea. The crown and the sacral. As the snake tries to get its tail. So there's obviously a break here in the seal there. But remember what I said, that the snake never really gets its tail because there's always space between, and it's a spiral energy. So it's the illusion of something in its mouth when its head is basically just probably leaning on its tail. So here it's showing you as the snake opening its mouth, trying to capture its tail, which can be someone circling, right, and trying to catch themselves, but just going in circles. The elephant and the whale are exhausted and dropping the ball, allowing a leak after pent up. The octopus is activated in the beautiful mind, not knowing their right from their left, but 2 hearts as one, scrambling to become the dear one. At 10:51, which is the Wheel of Fortune, that high vibration, and the 51 of the King of Swords, the first cards were the oyster and the rabbit, which is coming up the oi of the oyster and the stir. and the rabbit, which was coming up as ray bit, and that could be rabies for somebody, I hope not. And rabies wasn't really the main energy I was getting from this. The ray, right, feeling the bite of the ray, and then ray BB it. So Bibi Netanyahu is also coming up. So there's something significant about him at play right now. I don't know what it is. I don't watch the news, but like in tag, he's it. So he just got tagged to be it now. So after the crow on the lamb, or LA or Louisiana, there could be major ball going on here, or motherhood, the money boy, or megabytes, or Manitoba, Canada, make bobble, my bad, maybe, or male prostitute here, or me bone, which actually means I am well. So you misunderstood the language. So remember, something that means male prostitute in our language may mean something totally different in another language, where me bone means I am well. The dolphin, the crow, and the lamb came up here. And then I was getting Crow from, I don't know if you remember 10 Ways to Lose a Man, where she was trying to lose him in the movie. And so she names his guy something very feminine. And then he says, you can't name it that. You have to name it Crawl or something, Crawl, Warrior King, right? So that was coming up here. The dolphin, the crow, and the lamb. And do elfin crawl, MB. And again, MB, major ball, motherhood, money boy, megabytes, Canada, or make bobble, my bad, maybe, male prostitute, male prostitute, or me bone, which means I am well. But there's this elven crow. So again, men who are insecure about their penises, often do certain things to make themselves feel better, I suppose. But it's bringing up that insecurity. It's not about size, and that's not important. So the COS and the ELE was coming up here, which can be the cause of the LE wailing, or a panting whale, sees urgent way out as the octopus teacher gets taught by a beautiful mind, two as one fluttering hearts, the dear ones in one, sweethearts and dear one. So, oi, what a stir, as Ray, which as soon as I said Ray, it came up as the little guy in Jerry Maguire, the little boy's name with the glasses, his name was Ray in the movie. So, oi, what a star, as Ray bit, or BB's it, ball-bearing Big Brother, or Big Bang, a common theme here of big balls here. And then bareback came up, which means without a condom, and baby, and to complain, talk rubbish. BB gun birthing center, or shotgun wedding also, the bun in the oven, and bear awakening to the wound, the accident, the event that was out of one's control. The bear and his money can draw a crowd of ants. It was supposed to be honey, but I said money, so that's significant too. The bear and his money, or the bear as in Winnie the Pooh, and his honey, can draw a crowd of ants. What the heck? I was only asleep for a millisecond. And here's the bear, hibernating all winter long, waking up where all of a sudden his honey or money has drawn a crowd. And what the heck, I was only asleep for a millisecond, or was that a millennium? As the mouse watches, the bear and ants get their feast. So the ant's mad now, or the mouse is mad now, because now the ants got the bear's food and they can't get in there with the ants there. The ants getting their feast along with the blue camel who's hiding out with the mouse, but their energy is not as innocent and clear as the mouse. After an ER x-ray, or someone who got bit, or a bit, maybe there was a little bit of a fight there, or the bear, fire, mouse, or moose, or elk awakening to being different from the herd. So we're going from the elk to the moose, because they're basically the same animal, except for elk is a herd animal and the moose is more of a couple animal. They hang out in twos. The bear, fire, moose. This also can be someone getting fired, or the elk awakening to being different from the herd and not heard. Because he's a moose and not an elk, and they travel in twos, not crowds. And the mouse, camel, horse here, and gazelle are watching all of this unravel in Phoenix Rising, the root wound discovered. With Mr. Ed and the Misses very proud of their dear one's display or performance as supporting actors watching off stage with Mom and Dad. The rebirthing of wings as the shark attacks the vulnerable one, while Cobra is ready to act or armed with the truth of the moth to the flame, having been burnt a few times when leaving their wings and taking it out on others with their frustration and or confusion. They not realizing that they had this whole big support system with big balls or worlds and the space between worlds or words to use words getting an L any in there any which way, where a word with a right angle or lambda leap, the Christ Father leap, depending on large or small L, where the capital L is the right angle, but the lowercase l is like the 1, it's the leap from point to point, which equals the 4, the L and the 1. Being the capital L is actually the little one, because in the 4, remember that the L has to bend up to become the L, so it's half the size of the 1. The lamb who still needs their father, where the lowercase l is like the 1, 2 points and an arc. Whether arced, bridged, straight, or suspension bridge, a bridge is a bridge. At 11:32, alignment of the journey, whether that bridge is a smile, a frown, or no expression at all. So if BB is it, be fire or phi, PHI, with references of expansion and contraction or explosion and implosion and neutralizing effects to the middle, of polar opposites and caps as capital B equals 13 and so on, which means soon, which people hate that word. Your word, not mine. Fire moose came, L horse gazed, L phoenix rose, or foe, one equal and congruent to the nix, or Christed 9, or show of power of 10, or Monty Python, nigh, or to nay is to love. To bore, B-O-U-R, is to cuddle up in a hole, which you notice neighbor is right there. A horse is a horse, of course, but no one can talk to a horse, of course, unless they're Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you'll endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed. So again, this is the lyrics of Mr. Ed. And I'm dating myself because this is a very old show. He will never speak unless he has something to say, and will talk until his voice is hoarse. You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this. I am Mr. Ed. With Georgia Peach on the midnight train, the holy or whole Y grail, the whole, the 0 point of the Y, and the grail, the spiraling G rail of the tunneling effect. The Georgia Peach on the midnight train, the holy grail, slowing down to station in suspended animation. Thomas, you tank engine, bearing and boring a tunnel right through. Ground control to Major Tom Tom, my dear little Drummond boy. Stop jumping on couches and dealing with grouches and Groucho's marks. Seriously, Tom, top dog, co-creating with humans' embodiment, stuck in the middle of all of this. Because some dark ones have tea ships shaped like the capital letter T, and Mr. Tea Tree has some questionable characteristics, and carrot sticks, and that came up as the ships. Not to tell you whose ships they were, because now that's significant. So the carrot-shaped ship is the Korena, Korena, and they are part of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So maybe we'll see them first. And they look like carrots with 2 jet engines on them, on the back of the carrot. So that came up. All right. So because some dark ones have tea ships and Mr. Tea Tree has some questionable characteristics and carrot sticks, as I am rubber and you are glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. Because Tom, T-O-M, is top dog Ohm, and Tim is top dog I am. So Tom is with ego and needs to ohm, and Tim is with co-creation as knowing that I am's. How to leap right in. Nay. As it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Sheer to the nth degree, the night, the water meadow, the bend, the curve, the hollow dell, currently ink, the house, and the wobble or swing. And EGOT, E-G-O-T, which I'm sure that's an E.T. race. And that might even be Elena's. I think she said EGOT before. It's probably not spelled this way. But E-G-O-T is the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Emmy to Grammys with the OS, car or vehicle, computer, and to New York via IMing, so instant messaging or video calls, which is also coming up as I am to love. And then the earth at night. When all the world's asleep, the questions run so deep for such a simple man. And then mind was coming up. It is when the night is black, darkest night before the dawn. The truth is exposed just before the moth hits the flame. They see the light really close up, like they never have before. It is in the surrender to the dark that you see the light, and Spirit's connecting with me very deeply. At 12:03, the hanging man and the empress, or abundance, with space between. And you notice that 12 is written as 12/3, but even there is space between in the slash. And why the blind man is so sensitive. Again, it is in the surrender to the dark that you see the light, and why the blind man is so sensitive. He must trust without seeing it first, which is what we call faith. In God we trust, in faith we see, where faith is fey to the nth degree. F-A-I means dam or wing, shoulder, and millipede. It means banana tree or banana fruit, the monkeys. So why don't we eat more bananas? We are the monk. The banana is the monk's key. The whip ray, it also means the whiptail stingray. To be in progress, performing, rehearse, to give, do, make, and fetch, to repair, to install, to wear, adopt, and give. To pound or crush into or crash into, to dig, to do. Fey, F-A-I, as in faith, means woman, fault, sin, or magical and fairy-like. So at 12:10, the hanging man and that high vibe destiny, trust is the true path, T-R-U-S-T. It's also the top dog rust. So there's that rusty smell that comes up as well. And the thrill and the trill of the Holy Grail path. At the top, peeking out, you are a star. All of these are coming up from T-R-U-S-T. At the top, peeking out, you are a star. Where faith is the F of digamma, the twin rays, the water, the ow, the owie, the human two U's at the Y in the road, the sloths who are very slow, the fire and intercourse, I and we, the physical I and the seed, high, tall, friend and wound, the owies and the ahs, and who, no way, and garlic his father, being still, Yes, water tree, wood, hole, opening, top and lid. I am and the I, the one and someone else. Whoever and nobody, always, to depart and return. The foot and crab both come up here. And remember, the crab is something to crawl into, and the foot was coming up as something to heal today, especially the left foot, which is also the foot is the F and the T, the digamma twin flame energy, and the top dog with the two humans between, the twin flames, the foot and the crab, and a place to crawl into, like home. And there's also the F, the reference to Christ's footprints in the sand. And sand came up as a definition in today's read, which that'll come up later too. So the next message is here. As you see, there's a lot today. All right, so we have the energy deck first, then the Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook, then the half deck of Rider-Waite with just the characters, then the Metatron deck at the bottom there, which I put these are the cards I had to count here, but I didn't have room over here, so I just put them down below. So there's 4 decks here. Oops, sorry about that. Just going to bring it up closer so you can see the cards. All right, so this is this read now. And it is 1:31, 1 on the clock. And 31 is the group. It's the 5 of Wands, and he had ones on either side of that. So like bookends with the group between. And that is reminding me of the card from one of the decks where one's in the castle or the city, the other one's in the countryside, and then there's the group of the community with lights on the path in between. So again, the averaging of, the collective in the middle and then the outliers at the end. Is that the mean, the median? I always forget which one's which. But anyway, this read was done at 12:38 on the 20th, yesterday. The 12 is the Hanging Man, the 38 is the Queen of Cups for the energy deck. At 12:39, the Knight of Cups is the Wild Unknown, the 40 is the Page of Cups with the half deck, and then 41 to 42, which is the Ace of Cups and Two of Cups with the Metatron deck. The number that came up with the cards at the end were 4, 7, 3, and 2. And I looked that up in Gematria, and the first entry was, and there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. The second entry was Atlantic tsunami from the Canary Islands. Second trumpet, Gog Magog, war follows. And I don't know what Gog Magog is, but war follows. The third entry was awake for 15 hours and 3 minutes, and asleep for 8 hours and 57 minutes. I don't know who that's for. And I started this read at 12:50, which is hanging out with the 10 of Cups family, or complete emotional fulfillment. And that can be world fulfillment as well, a happier world. The Sun, and then the number 1, which is the Divine Masculine, or the Magician, or the Leap. And the Hyena with the 9 of Wands, the Wounded Warrior, and the 33 of the Christ Vibration, the Dimensional Gateway. The Magician manifests up with the Sun, with water and stretches and gratitudes for one. As the hyena at the fence, and or on the fence, the wounded warrior guarded, holding on to their wounds, when the other is in the sun, happy, while they are bored, when the golden gate is always open to Christ or unity consciousness for everyone. The sun, the moon, and the dark side of the moon, and playing both sides, trying to win. I was being vain as well. You're so vain. Trying to win by playing both sides doesn't work. You see what I mean. The sun is the sun, and the hyena is the wounded warrior. The spade is a spade unless you see it from another perspective. No one can fence you in but yourself. At 1:17, the masculine, the leap, and the magician there with the 17 of the star, and the underlying energy of the 52, which is the Queen of Swords and Lady Liberty here, shining her light. The goddess of the moon, and the 33 of the door to romance. The doors coming up as the door to romance is coming up as the door Taureau, which is the Taurus and the bull, the forklift. It's also the ox, the tree trunk. to show, to sit, Taurus, otter, sleep, point out, and the tree rings within the tree trunk. So the door to romance was coming up as the door Toro Mance, which can represent just people and persons, but it also means gratuity. And then the man CE, which was coming up as the bull or the ox, gate 1. The Taurus gate of the people as gratuity, like the people being given to them as a tip, kind of like the Anunnaki, creating us as a tip for them so they'd have people to work for them, as I'm losing my voice. So when the Anunnaki seeded the humans, they made the humans not equal to them, but that would be able to work for them. And that's what caused the problems on the planet and then the war between the brothers. But there's that energy that came up regarding being a gratuity. The Taurus gate, which is like the silver gate of the human gate as opposed to the golden gate. The Taurus gate of the people as a gratuity, and the three-ring circus. And then it was bringing up the apple cart, because we had the forklift and then the Taurus, which is like an apple. And I just watched this movie of The Pieces of a Woman, where she describes her new baby as smelling like apples, and then a little girl picking apples at the end. So the apple cart was coming up here, and Spirit's connecting with me, of hugs and kisses. At the core of the apple is hugs and kisses. The tree trunk so strong due to all the rings and its branches, the love and emotion, the water put into it, the shade, the romance, the air of mystery, causing inspiration or to breathe in, the curiosity, the temptation on the line, where you still can choose one way or the other, right? So if you're sitting on the fence or the line here, you can still have that choice of dark or light. You're not committed to one or the other. But it's also coming up as that shady moodiness. The Lady of Light and the Christ consciousness or unity consciousness, and the removing of the mask or the veil in the taking of the mystery away. Here lies the freedom from your chains. The key to the heart is the fool's journey of balance, of the open heart and the leap to the 5D stationing, to be present and see the world from a larger perspective, or in other words, from another world. At 143, the leap to the coming together in joy, and the 6 of a contract of love and community, but without your eyes, but feeling the weight, pulling one way or the other, and the magic of the sun, content to be seen in all of its glory, just as it is. It's hard to look at the sun, but you still have to try, don't you? At 146, the leap to the 46 of the inner and outer children loving each other, the one of the 51, King of Swords, and the healer of the ages, shining from his solar plexus, and his crown, and his hands. The sun, he is the clock that tells you when. So here's that reference to the clock in the symbol of the Galactic Federations of World. Like I said, that the 7-pointed star looks like the hands of a clock, but was also coming up as the was it Protruvian man? I can't think of the word. I don't know why I can't think of it. But you know what I'm talking about. So it looks like the man, like with 2 sets of legs, as it shows movement. But the sun, as the Master and King of Swords here, the healer of the ages, shining from his solar plexus, his crown, and his hands, that he's representing the sun, that he is the clock that tells you when, like the sun in the sky. At noon, when he's directly overhead, you'll know. The 2 of the journey, the day and the nay, on the bridge, the fence, the neighbor, and with choice of direction here, the divine feminine and the higher self choosing to stay in a state of suspension, the moment before, the never-ending story, never reaching the end, like man's never-ending search for source, which they can never touch because then they would be source. Man's constant seeking to know source as one little puzzle piece of the whole mystery of it all. And the three of the blossoming abundance. So remember, we'll always get to 0.99999, but we'll never get to that one because we'll never be the all as one part of source. It's that same energy of going to the middle dot in the circle, of leading back home. You can be everything but the dot in the center. The three of the blossoming abundance. To transmute, you must dance. Dan 1. So dance is D-A-N 1. Dan people. Father of D-A, Dad, the Christed ones. And remember in Forrest Gump, it's Lieutenant Dan, and then Forrest Gump. So I looked up Gump as well, which means foolish or soft person, but it also means rump or trunk of the tree. So here comes the trunk again. The torso of the body. And the Vitruvian man or Protruvian man? I can't think of the beginning of it. To wrinkle. Also buttocks, which also Forrest Gump likes to say, which also references the hindquarters. To cheat, ramble, move, and the letter F, which is digamma. To say, and there's this energy of to say, to blow someone off, to say kiss my ass, basically. And also sex, to blunder, clean out of money. Or Gump is a transition with abundance here, which is a B of undancing, or wave-like once, or ants. So to be wave-like just once, or to be wave-like ants. So I don't know how ants wave, but there may be something you can look up about ants that will give you the answer to that. So whether it's ants, the creature, or ants, your mother's or father's sisters, how do they wave to you? And there could be that energy of the queen's wave, right, which is like the sine wave. She cups her hand and she moves it back and forth in a half circle. When the bees are stuck in water, they create a wave, and they hydrofoil atop of the water in a cup fashion. The water sticks to its wing, preventing it from flying. However, it allows it to drag the water, and this is, by the way, from phys.org. It allows it to drag the water, creating waves that then propel it forward. It literally surfs towards safety. The wings cup when they push down, and then they curve upward in the same way, or supinate, when they come out of the water. They can only do this, though, for about 10 minutes, or they will die in the water. The abundance of water that literally kills the pollinator of the blossom, which flowers all, right? The water of life and death, and a need to balance, the balancing act, to adapt. As we adapt, and I was getting now endure, we evolve. The healer and the bridge dweller comes up as the jumper and the savior. But perhaps the bridge dweller is just Miranda waiting for Steve to arrive in the middle. They just didn't get there at the same time. So people saw her as alone and depressed in the middle of a bridge. Or is that just the best view of the river? So at 212 is the divine feminine and the 12 of the hanging man, with 2, 2, and 4 cards altogether. With the 4 and the 24 as the first cards, the Emperor and the Queen of Wands, or the happy family with adjacent possibilities. Like they don't have to go up or down, but there are other parallel possibilities here for the family. The 4 is the lambda leap, the L and the 1, and 24 is 2 the 4, the lambda leap, or quarter 4, the 4th quarter. And when one door closes, another opens, or a pen, in a parallel universe, where it's then time to leap. So you must take your opportunity when it's available to you, and then know your way back, in case you don't like it there. The 4 and the 24, the lambda leap. So there's a lambda leap to the lambda leap. The 44, with the space between, the Hercules, her harvest, the harvest queen. HQ, which came up as headquarters for the Galactic Federation of Worlds on our planet. So the Harvest Queen is the headquarters. The Divine Feminine is the headquarters. The 36 and the 13 of the Atlas energy coming in here with Hercules, and the 13 again of the transition, the Atlas transition. Remember, the Atlas is the map of intent, also carrying the weight of the world. The sacral Ariel and the financial constraints, as Hercules takes in their higher self and gives relief to Atlas to take a break or break down into the sacral in order to be creative in transition of life and death. Since it's in the fall, we become inspired to rise in the spring with hibernating percolation or brewing something up in the winter. At 221, the feminine and the world, a sounding board to spring off of is what we do in the winter. So again, the feminine gives the masculine a break, as Hercules gives Atlas a break, in order to just take a rest or allow himself to break down, right? Because you don't connect to source unless you're not stressed out. So he needs to be on break and being completely still to allow the connect. And this also allows a breakdown into the sacral energy, where the feminine is very at home because she gives birth. But the masculine needs to get into his sacral energy to learn his creative side in the transition of life and death. Since it's in the fall, we become inspired to rise in the spring with hibernating percolation, brewing something up, a sounding board to spring off of. So when you're starving, you hunt or you go to the store. You're looking to feed yourself. You're looking to nourish yourself for nourishment, which is all just something more than you are. At 222, which is again that guidance counselor show of room 222, the underlying energy of the unicorn, the tarantula, the hawk, snake, and the hyena. And when I visited California at my dad's award ceremony, there were twos everywhere, 222s, 22s, they were all living. It was really positive energy that whole trip. And I was with a lot of my family, which was a lot of fun. That energy is coming up here again, the 222 of the unicorn of the third eye and the 5D gate holders, watching the beaver who does give a damn. And there's that Dan, because dam is Dan with double N's. And Elena Danan is D-A-N-A-A-N. She's got two N's there. Unicorn is a unique nurse at the crossroads of 4 and 4 legs, with space between the body, the trunk, or in other words, the low density, right? So the lower your level of gravity is, right? The more you cling to the earth. So the unicorn's coming up as the 5D gate holder, as the feminine is a unique nurse who cares for others at the crossroads of 4 and 4, which is the Hercules energy with space between. The lambda leap and the lambda leap with space between, and the need to know how to get back again. The push and pull, which is the masculine and the feminine. And the legs with space between, and there's the Vitruvian man. Is it Vitruvian man? No, I can't remember. The body, the trunk, and the low density. So the tarantula is the tarantula, or the bum, the idler, the eel, the penis, the poem, the reciting of a poem. A baby mouth disease or foul distemper. Stands at the gate and guards the web, as the hawk clears the air and the way and the air waves for the collective awakening. The gate holders and the grid workers here, as the hyena slithers away trying to play both sides, but not facing their shadow side, only seeing their perspective. And then the tarantula was, the cards right here were coming up with Utah, Shai, Ina. And Ina means capital N, which is the Christ energy in my coding. It also means water, that, internal, and the week, as in day of the week. To have, there is, or there are, fire, light, mammal, and artistic design, embroidery, engraving, this and that, next and following, one and ones, to unite, they. So Utah Shyena literally means Utah shy one. And then ta, T-A-H, means to pull, move, step, stroke, because of or due to, and what? And tas-eel means education, which is a word, Indian or Pakistani word. And this was at 2:33, which the geese all flew by at that time, that Christ vibration with the feminine, or the Q. So the TAHS is shifts, or TAH is shift. It's a change. It's a turn. So Utah shy one is you shift shy one. And I was just getting Indian. What are the shy? The Indian community that's SH. Why can't I think of it? I'm sorry, you guys. I do have a little bit of brain damage. I got hit by a car when I was jogging back in 16, so I have trouble retrieving sometimes, if you don't know that about me already, which is fine. So I'm going to look up, what is this? Or Shaw, I guess Shawnee just came up. It didn't come up on my search, but I just thought of Shawnee. But what else is... there's the first thing that came up was Salish, which I don't know them. Salish were Plateau Indians between the Rocky Mountains and the coastal Cordillera, and is characterized by semi-arid region of sagebrush, grass, and scattered pine. That was coming up from Botanica. I don't know why Hidatsa, but Hidatsa people also came up here. I put in SH, but... Okay, Shoshone. Shoshone are Native American tribe with 4 large cultural linguistic divisions. Eastern Shoshone, Wyoming, Northern, Southern Idaho, Western Shoshone, and Nevada. And then there's a question on here. Why do Indians pronounce SH as S? Yeah, so that's what came up. So whatever you take in is your correct answer. And now I can't even remember the one I brought up earlier. So Shawnee is also coming up. So you shift shy one. Shoshone. Why is Shoshone? Shoshone? Shoshone. Shishawa comes up in Morocco. That's interesting because I always get Morocco as the Garden of Eden. Shoshone. So Shoshan. Shoshan as a name. Oh, that was just letter analysis. I don't want to do that. Hold on one second. So if I put up Shoshan, see, it doesn't come up the same way. All right, Shishan with lots of accents on it. I got one here. And that's coming up in Mandarin. Let's see what it means. It means accident, mishap, slip up, or mistake. Shishani. It comes up as Shishan, but it's got lots of accents on it. But the Y is just coming up, so Shawnee might be coming up as well. Shishani. So, but anyway, the shy one. So anyone you know who's shy may be coming up here as well. But again, there's this big shift. You shift, shy one. I was just getting sky one as well. And if you could think of another word that I'm just not getting right now, please put it in the comments, the sh word. So that's when the geese were flying as well on this line here. And education was coming up in India and Pakistan. And shifts here. So there could be shifts in educational standards there, which is probably really good. And the shy one can reference India, right? As a country. The Holy Grail steps and pulls, strokes and turns, high one or high on E. So I don't know if someone's high on ecstasy, but E references one equal and congruent to another. One, O-N-E, is the O of the human embodiment of source, the N of that Christ energy, and the E of one equal and congruent to the other, and completes the N, making it M. So NE is the same as M with the 3 lines across, which equals equal and congruent to. So 1 equals Om with the 3 lines, which is equal and congruent to. Om, home, human co-creation, equal and congruent, side by side, independent yet interdependent. Indi and Inti. So it's coming up as E-I-N-D-I and I-N-T-E, which T-E, at some point I looked up and it meant moral man, so I use that a lot. But D-I obviously can mean 2. So into, by the way, T-E also means T-O-O, not the number 2, but T-O-O. So they both can mean 2. Into, even though one's D-I and one's T-E. So in 2, the number 2, in the moral man, or also, in also being, to see, hear, understand, perceive. You, the T, capital T, so there's tea tree coming up again. Wood, tree, stone. Water behave, to appear, to sting. Compact or press, swell. Foot, quiet, only, path, road, way, and now, the now moment. Naked door, mouth, and the number 10s, or plural of 10s, which is high vibration and destiny, that leap to the human. To throw away, hot or hot-tempered, or in other words, affectionate for some, comfortable, and then TI, which also for me is referencing source. So the moral man being like source energy. So in 2, in the number 2, and in being also, the 10, or the 10s, so somebody might be using 10s, whether socks or whether electrical impulse technology. Now, naked, affectionate, high vibe, moral man, source. The butterfly at 250, the divine feminine, and the 50 of the 10 of cups. The transitioning bee, which in this deck, the bee is transitioning into the butterfly. The healer transitioning to bigger wings, where wings is to use, loving. Bee no longer having to hydroplane the water or doggy paddle, because the lion is calm in the middle of the bridge, knowing when it's time. The moth will come to the light naturally in blossoming abundance. The bull or the buttocks, as the forest would say, suddenly flies at right angle. I am off. Human to the nth degree. The golden egg, the off, and I am off could be like someone who has a lisp, who can't say off. I am off to the races I was getting. But off is O-T-H, which is human to the nth degree. So forest, so bull or buttocks, as Forrest would say, suddenly flies at the right angle. I am human to the nth degree, of course. At 255 is the divine feminine and the truth. Or the 2 is the polarity and the mediation as well. Of the golden egg, the golden child, the nest egg, the heart, and the zebra with their third eye open and going against the grain. But for the grail, the wise owl who's a hoot, as the black panther tries to trigger them, and the stingray is plugged in and turned on and activated, with tail of 2 cities perhaps, or CTs, and a whispering bench of top dogs, of a beautiful mind, that are two as one with epiphanies and fleeting inspirations of hello, stars. The two as one with epiphanies and fleeting inspirations of 1,000 stars, which is literally the definition here as I was breaking down the words. So it's saying kind of like just bringing the minds together brings you 1,000 suns, but you bring them in union and you get 3,000 suns. It becomes exponential at 301 with space between there. So again, when you initially activated, your etheric bodies did unite, right? So you were together in the 5D. But you need space between that activation and the grounding activation. It's like a 5D activation and then grounding it into the earth. But there needed to be space between. The King of Cups with the Knight of Swords coming from a difficult place, the Nine of Swords. And the Empress now, the Knight of Wands, and the Dark Knight, divide and conquer. So it's coming up as the King of Cups with the Knight of Swords, the Messenger of Truth, coming from a difficult place, who could be the Empress now. As the Knight of Wands and the Dark Knight divide and conquer as inspiration and transformation, a two-sided coin of life and death and justice. She tackled love and emotion and abundance, as he tackled life and death and balance. The Page of Pentacles and the Chariot, the student ascending to the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Swords stepping up to take a swing at the Six of Cups and her children loving each other as Two of Cups lovers, which is, the ultimate love relationship of the Two of Cups and lovers together, and the Queen of Cups here, who's focused on her heart. The Page of Cups gives the Queen of Cups his coin in order to give the Queen of Cups his heart. So I'm going to say that again. The Page of Pentacles gives the Queen of Pentacles his coin in order to give the Queen of Cups his heart. The Pisces Page of Cups, or perhaps a world of sweethearts. The Queen of Cups coming full circle with a loving message, inspiring the Page of Wands to the King of Pentacles, or to be the King of Pentacles, with another offer or wand if he turns into the King of Swords and goes cold. To idea one, not letting him off the hook, yet allowing him options of how to get there. So saying, it's like an intervention where, like, if they got him on both sides. Like if he turns down the first offer, then they're on the other side of him right away as he turns around to give him the second offer. So allowing him to make his own choices, but giving him enough options so that he'll say yes to one. And all four pages are here. Now for the backstory on all of this that I just told you. At 311, so going deeper into the underlying energies here, of the Empress and Justice here, or the abundance of alignment, the Emperor makes an offer to the High Priestess that sets her free, as the Hermit sheds light and holds space for them, while the Queen of Swords speaks to the Sovereign Capricorn, or Temptation, or getting them to swear in with the King of Wands, or the Queen of Swords discussing with an independent child, giving up their independence to the King of Wands' Temptation, or a prenup perhaps. As the Knight of Cups offers love to the wounded warrior who's on guard, but looks here like they were pleased with the outcome. With the Magician now with the Queen of Wands on their side, or attracted to their blossoming abundance. And then the King of Cups had to tackle the rest, facing the Messenger of Truth, who may have been hurting a long time, but is now the Empress. For the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups, in the ultimate love connection, with all sides covered here, and the 318 of the Empress or Abundance, and the 18 of the Moon, the underlying energy of the 11 in the wake-up call, the 43 of healing coming together, and the 31 of transformation of the group, the 29 of the Blue Madonna, being present with gifts, and healing together, receiving light and holding space, present to gifts, and that 47 of the 4 to 7 heart to crown blessings, and the Golden Gate, the 4D Rainbow Bridge with the 41 of the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail, which I always see as the cupping over the womb, And then the solar plexus is the stem of the Grail, and then the cup's the heart. Reflecting the pink willows, as above so below, the 55 of the red root shaman's truth of safety, strength, and power, with the peace offering to the 2 of cups, to go with the flow on the whispering canoe, where the salt river meets the fresh river at the Y in the road, where the river runs through it, smoothing over the stones, leaving rocks to protect them from harm. So they're leaving the big rocks on the sides, but the ones that are going with the flow are getting smoothed over. And then 2 cards came up with the 35 and the 44, which is the wounded warrior and the Hercules energy. As the wounded warrior activates the Holy Grail reflection of compassion, or the Easy Pass connection, creating waves on the rock, causing it to light up. They had always just passed by before on that river flowing by. But now they are at the rock's door. The 44 of the beacon, Hercules, her harvest. The beacon is to be lighter because her harvest is here. After the activation, surrenders the wounded warrior, not only to Hercules, but to Mount Olympus. Olymp us, like the old couple. Instead of the odd couple, the old couple. So then we have the next message here. Okay. All right, so here's the next one. And this one starts with the Shaman Dreams deck, and then my mixed Lenormand with Kipper, and then my energy deck, then my Wild Unknown Animal Guidebook, and then the half deck with there's people in it of my Rider-Waite. And again, the same kind of setup, only here it was more, it didn't come out as 3 for each deck, but just more of an organic pull. Okay, so you can see the cards better. Okay. All right, so this was done also on the 20th last night. And it started with the Shaman Dreams at 8:26 to 28. And then with the second deck as well. And then at 8:28 was the energy deck. 8:30 was the Wild Unknown, and 8:30 again was the half deck. So the cards at the end were 1, 6, 1, 2, and 5. So I looked it up, and they don't always have an entry for that big a number, but they did. And it was the word tenty, T-E-N-T-Y, written 25 times. And tenty also means, it means careful and attentive. And then I looked up 1612 without the 5, and the first entry was Jewish. And careful and attentive were meanings from Scots with that word tenty, T-E-N-T-Y, which can be, tented to be, or if you want to think of a tent and being tenty. So, and as you can imagine with a tent, you have to be careful, right? Because not as solid as a house, and it could blow away. So at 8:37, the underlying energy here, where the 8 is the dance, the manifestation of dreams, and the 37 is the King of Cups, which is also unconditional love. The underlying energy was the 43 of overflow, the 24 of the thief, and the 46 of the thinking man, the peacock, and the King of Wands, who is number 23, which is this year, 2023. Coming together in the overflow with the Queen of Wands, thief, with the inner child thinking man, the pretty peacock, and the King of Wands. So we have the King and Queen of Wands like as bookends here, and they'll come up that way again today in the next read. So the energy can be of the King and Queen of Wands with space between, beautiful in and out, and the man of passion here. One who's beautiful within and without, and the man of passion. At 8:44, again referencing Hercules again, and the 4 of Cups, the 8 of strength and manifestation of dreams. The cards that came up in the underlying energy here were 10, 8 were the first 2 cards, which was the time I had woken up yesterday at 10, 8. And then 38, 31, 27, and 43. So destined to dance, the Queen of Cups with conflict of the heart, inspired to come together in the home or bring 2 homes together. The deep diver diving right in to the crown games with right use of power, and the Queen of Wands with many masks of the authentic self. I'm sorry, this queen, that should be the Queen of Cups, not the Queen of Wands. So that's 38. So the Queen of Cups with many masks of the authentic self. In the hand holds the heart where the universe is your partner. Inspired by the heart home and compassion, coming together in the overflow of overwhelm and plenty. And there's that, plenty is very close to tenty. At 9:12 is the Hermit and the 12 of the Hanging Man. With the first card out was the 16 of the Empty Well and the sudden need to fill up. The 60 of Peace of the Watchers, the tie-on connection of the Tiger and Lioness, the totem pole of transpersonal totem, tie-on totem, and the sudden need to rest in peace. And that could be retirement as well. It's a very positive energy, and it is an energy of a retired couple. The 15 of the Dust Devil and moving out of stagnation, and there's that reference to the stallion again as the stagnation. And the 52 of the Queen of Swords, straddling worlds. And that's referencing Lady Liberty at the edge of the water, right? The sudden peace, and then the dust storm that kicks up. And the Queen of Swords handling both at the same time, both the water and the land. The 3 of the abundant benefactors of grace and generosity. So here's another retired couple, very different from the first. The one is in the desert, but this is the one in the comfort of the living room, so to speak, in the mushroom. Where there's one card here, which is the 46 of the Root Girl and the Disowned Self. The little trunk of the tree with the little girl in it who never grew, right? The stunted growth. The sudden need for peace as the dust kicks up at 10:04, message received. Straddling worlds and wandering. The daughter and mother, the soulmates at the root, both with partners to be, healing the little girls inside them. At 10:08 is the daughters without fathers to walk them down the aisle. And at 10:09 and 10:08 again is that Kai energy of the 18. But daughters without fathers to walk them down the aisle. And the 10:09 of the underlying energy of the 5 of the tree and the 7 of Cups. The 38 of the Queen of Cups who's toiling and laboring. The 25 of the Knight of Wands with high honors and the 41 of the Well and the Ace of Cups, Holy Grail. The 24 of the Thief and the Queen of Wands and the freedom in clearing the family tree here. The 38 of the Queen of Cups working her fingers to the bone to honor the Knight of Wands and the Holy Grail energy of self-love, spiritual love, and new love, of diving deep to catch a thief in the Queen of Wands. And we have the Queen of Cups, Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Wands here. At 10:33 is the high vibration of the Christ energy, that unity consciousness, and the first card of the false person with the 8 and then the 19, which are both Leo energies, and the coffin. The Queen of Wands manifesting a death or rest in peace, or faking their own death. The shadow lover present with a gift and the truth, and the Knight of Wands with a ring or commitment to a new passion, or whale talk, which is so funny because that came up in Attorney Wu. The thief in the dance to the death, until death do us part. And this could be someone trying to get their partner to die so they'll inherit their money. The shadow lovers present to truth or present the truth about a committed passion. And there were 4 totaling 6 cards here, which then is written 42/6 is the way 42 would be written, which is the 2 of Cups and the Lovers. The 37 of the King of Cups, the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune, the 5 of the Hierophant, and the 34 of the Energetic Exchange, the 8 of Wands, and the Arrows of Love. The King of Cups is destined to big changes at work here. Father Time may be discerning with the Page of Pentacles, the mature man, the Hierophant with a busy daughter, or a busy occupation, or occupied by the Energetic Exchange here. So he may be discerning with, this can be a daughter, could be a son as well with the Page of Pentacles, but it's coming up as a student. It could be an invitation or an opportunity here as well, or a researcher even. Being discerning with this opportunity or information, an energetic exchange, right? So it could be an opportunity for a job, but someone could just be also occupied with the busyness of it all, or the Arrows of Love. At 11:11 is the King of Cups, Libra, Taurus, an energetic exchange. The 33 and the 35, which is the Christ energy, but also standing up for oneself, and the 35 of the wounded warrior, needing to surrender their wounds. Maybe with concern here for the 9 of Wands wounded warrior, cutting an anchor. This could be a father worried about the child suffering in silence if they cut anchor with them and move away. Could also be a sister here. He may be afraid that they may martyr themselves or become unglued. This could also be a Scorpio father and a Leo fire child. Taurus, Capricorn, and Libra here too. At 11:19 is Justice and the Sun, which is also alignment and energy, energetic alignment. And energy synthesis. So that's coming up also as energetic synthesis and the website. The doors to romance with 33 here, and the 12 of the temple path, and the 5th chakra of the 39 Knight of Cups as Archangel Gabriel, which is referencing mercurial energy of the messenger, which can reference Gemini and Virgo as well, and the 46 of the thinking man, the inner child, standing up for themselves in the garden of prayer on wise temple path. And here there's this energy of bringing up Christianity and Judaism, of the Christ consciousness and the Judaism, the Jew on the cross, the Knight of Cups, Archangel Gabriel, with a message to deliver to the inner child of the thinking man, which is very Jewish, right? Because they are very built on education. And there's also this reference of the fact that, you know, whether someone became Christian from being a Jew, you still have the DNA of all of your lineage in you, so it doesn't really matter because we're all one. And there's this energy of JC and Mary Magdalene and the inner little girl. The 11:29 here is the alignment of the 3 of Wands, can be waiting for your ship to come in, but is being present to the moment. And the 1 of victory of the 28 twins, the twin flame choice of path. The 35, 22, and 41 of the 1st chakra, Archangel Michael, and the wounded warrior in the root of things. On the fool's journey of yin yang to the crown, and Archangel Uriel, number 7, and the Ace of Cups of the Holy Grail of self-love. Below and above the 5D stationing, because really your crowning energy represents you in 5D. But anything below the heart, you know, would be representing as 3D. So wanting you to station at least from the heart to the crown. And the 6 of Cups as the twins, from the root to the heart. Remember that the masculine starts in the sexual energy and raises to the heart in a relationship. The feminine starts in the heart and would go to the sexual energy in a 3D relationship. Here is the masculine starting at the root to the heart, where the feminine starts in the heart and goes to the crown. But neither are happy, as we had Pisces, Sag, and Aries here, until they come together to master manifestations. Man holding, oh, and the man being the mastering manifestations, coming up as the man holding the coin, which is like the King of Pentacles. At 11:43, which is the alignment of the coming together, but also brings for me up Scorpio energy, but it's Libra Scorpio energy here. The underlying energy of reflecting swans, and the Southwest could be coming up here. The Southwest to Vulture. Or then it was 11:45 right here, which is happy birthday, because that's the time I was born. So that's saying happy birthday to the Vulcan, which then brings up Star Trek. But Vulcan is the volcano. It's the Red Admiral, which is the volcano. The peacock, right? The pretty peacock that looks all pretty inside, but you never know what you're going to get as fire comes up. And this is coming up, I guess, with the Scorpio Libra energy, right? And with Spock too, right? So Spock's coming up, and the spark, and the shock of the chakras. The swan, the Vulcan or volcano, and I was getting Along Came Polly then there too. I don't know why, but I was. And she, she in that movie, she's kind of dippy, but it's only because she had been through a lot of relationships and got hurt a lot. The swan to Vulcan, I was getting Desmond Tutu here too. The swan to volcano, or swan to Vulcan, and southwest to vulture, or to Vulcan, or to volcano. And Along Came Polly, and Pollyanna is coming up now. So how does that reference to the volcano? And so I looked up a couple of volcanoes at the time in the southwest, and and I'm very familiar with the Cascades because my parents used to live in Bend, Oregon, and the Sisters Mountains right there. And there are all volcanoes in Redmond, Oregon, which was the first thing that came up, which is around where they lived. That's the airport we used to fly into. And that was coming up from volcanodiscovery.com, that the Southwest Pacific volcanoes that could erupt, Eastern Gemini Seamount, Hunter Island came up, Matthew Island, and they were bringing up the kinds of volcanoes as well, stratovolcanoes, as well as submarine volcano, an unnamed one, submarine, but these were all, it looked like they were around between Austria and New Zealand area in the Pacific, not at the United States. And then on April 30th, 21 was an article from Forbes.com. Southwest, few hours west of Albuquerque, New Mexico, is Almaipa, or Pais National Monument. It's Malpais, National Monument, with young lava flow. The Sunset Crater Volcano National Monument lies in an active field near Flagstaff and the Colorado-New Mexican border. There's old mountains and mounds from, I guess, from eruptions prior to. They're more likely to erupt here than the Cascades, except for Mount St. Helens, which is the most active Cascade volcano. And if we see a southwest eruption, that eruption could look like Mount Etna in Italy that happened recently. There's another one in Iceland, and then Guatemala were brought up in the last, and they can last not only for days but for years, because volcanoes are erupting all the time. 1943, there at Paracutin, Mexico, lasted 9 years. Also, Winslow, Arizona, has a crater one. Then they brought up at 1212 Mount Shasta, which is also active. And Shasta came up for me today because the stone I found in Mount Shasta was the same shape as my broken pinky nail. And today I had another broken nail that was the same shape of that again. So there's something about Mount Shasta that came up. And there's other volcanoes they brought up, like in Texas and Utah, etc. So at 1213, the octopus, dragonfly, firefly, shark, the earthworm, spider, and the bee, and with an overabundance of water to put out the Queen of Wands' fire for water children, and octopus to activate their minds, their beautiful minds. The 8 opus, and again October coming up here, and the life's work. The dragon, fire, fly, and the fleeting moments as the shark attacks. The earthworm is vulnerable, or perhaps easily intimidated, to the spider's web, as the bee hovers, or a hovercraft, with Dr. Octopus and Dr. Firefly, or dragons that join forces to attack the spider's nest, with the bee hovering. So I didn't even get all that because I was saying it, but I'm getting now literally hovercrafts hovering over a volcano. Dr. Octopus and Dr. Firefly as dragons join forces to attack the spider's nest with bee hovering. And there's a dark ET in Mount Shasta. That could be the clearing out of them. So I think there's some reptilians in Mount Shasta. At 12:19 is the Hanging Man and the 19 of the Sun. Spidey was coming up here. And again, none of this part may not all make sense, but there may be messages for you guys, so pay attention. So Spidey, drag on October or 8, opus, the life's work. Drag on and fly, fire, fly. Shh, ear or earth, or sheer to the nth degree, war, or woe room for Spidey and bee. Spy bee or spy derby. Doc, Dr. F, IR shark or sea spider, bee. Both dragon and bee hovering on either end. Or carpenter thief overwhelmed with grief with fire and water here. So at 12:26, and this could be, now I'm getting the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands as a scam couple. And they can be a couple or siblings, but they're two people with very fiery energies who are scamming people together. That's accurate, so that could be coming up. The first entry here is the fish out of water, or doing a yippee after a victory. The sea serpent, sacral with break and seal. The bee fish sees sudden pent-up energy, or seizes sudden pent-up energies that break out. The elk and the tiger here. As the elk watches the energy build, the tiger stalks, coming straight for and the tiger coming straight for the kill. A sudden welling up as tension builds. As the elk is distracted, the tiger's eye sees all, or seizes all. Crouching tiger, hidden dragon. So this could be a sting here as well. Carpenter, fish, sea, El source. And there's a reference to Jesus, to source. Two cards here with the nightingale and the otter, the two innocents. One calls out for help with bated breath or baby's breath as curious otter looks the other way to see what's next, right? Because they can't help themselves, they're curious. Or looking to see what's in the nest. The little lamb with whale and cheetah as Mr. Ed and lion like the moth on flame with the nest egg. It's like they're protecting the egg. The golden egg. The zebra, cobra, and wolf are at a standstill, but the lion is not worried here. They'll come to their senses. A double phoenix rising as the oyster works hard to open and build a dam. And the dam can reference a Dan family as well. The double phoenix rising as the oyster works hard to open and build a dam or a nest. As the eagle dives and the dear one looks, the raccoon in their nook or hiding in the trash. And the crow and crowing all of the cosmic egg collective. I think I meant to write crowning there. So the eagle dives and the dear one looks, the raccoon in their nook and hiding in the trash. And crowning all of this cosmic egg collective awakening side by side, the wise owl, the grounded buffalo, the hidden mouse, and the grouchy croc, or crowding the croc. As they wind up wounded, not even dead, tonight in Jungle Land. So Bruce Springsteen, somebody might be going to a Springsteen concert. But again, referencing, down in Jungle Land, the difficult parts of the city. as the swans along with the vulture, camel, I'm just getting Camelback Mountain in Phoenix, as swans along with vulture, camel and peacock will not leave the turtle behind. So there's no man left behind coming up here too. Perhaps an intervention of a kind. But the tiger is pure focus, and the otter is curious, as the bird calls for help. He's wandering off again. Come help, come help. At 12:47 is the hanging man and the 4 to 7 heart to crown, as the the king of swords receives the knight of wands and the page of swords with ball and chain, and the king of wands is not far behind them with a couple of options for the king of swords, but he's already freed by his secret passion of the high priestess or higher self. This is like an intervention, but he doesn't need intervening. Justice of the page of pentacles and the king of cups, or Libra destiny of unconditional love. The study of the gold coin could be Scorpio Libra, king of cups here. The grieving queen of swords, sovereign, speaks with guarded wounded warrior, queen of wands, looking to the page of cups, Pisces, with the 6 of cups or 2 of cups lovers or bond that they have with the queen of cups, and the queen of pentacles perhaps may be the mother's sister as well, because we have a queen of cups and page of cups along with the queen of pentacles here. At 12:55 is the hanging man and the truth, and seeing new perspectives in the truth. The page of wands inspired by the king of pentacles, and the king of pentacles by the empress, who's annoyed by him. I think this is the emperor, not the empress. It's the emperor. The page of wands is inspired by the king of pentacles. King of pentacles by the emperor, but the emperor is annoyed by the king of pentacles. And the emperor offers to the high priestess, setting her free, or a secret offer to fool with an open heart, or high priestess freeing the king of swords, as the king of wands' posse runs in to offer options to them to get them not leave, offering to play ball, or now offering to play ball, or offering his wife, his firstborn, whatever it takes, don't leave. As the king of wands, queen of wands, and the knight of wands are all here, and the 6 of cups water signs, the innocent, loving children or inner children of the twins, along with the thinking man on a mission. An invite goes out as the knight of swords rushes back, a delivery or reply. The dark knight steps up to see the hermit's light that's shed on the destruction in the dark knight's wake, or the fight it took to get here. With 131 and 5 right here, the magician, the chariot, the empress, and the knight of cups, and then the knight of cups in pyramid style here, manifesting big with magic DNA, or DNA is Dan and ADN, which can represent Adam if Adam is spelled with 2 N's, ascending to the empress, or abundance and satisfaction with self, as the knight of cups proposes something of love. At 104, the masculine and the lambda leap with space between. I told you this was a big one. So now we have the last of my messages of the day, which was today. And this one starts with Nature's Whispers, then my mixed deck of Lenormand and Kipper, then the Wild Unknown, and then my half deck down there, which you see expanded. It was first over here, and then there wasn't room, so I went over here in the middle. So that comes in after that. Okay, I'll bring it up a little closer so you can see the cards. And now it's 233. It was just 233.33. Okay. So this one started at 11, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Nature's Whispers, Lenormand, Kipper, and then the Wild Unknown, and then the half deck. And the cards at the end were 1, 2, 3, and 3. So I looked that up, and it was, the first entry was, it's my birthday, which already came up. And I woke up at night around 9:18, which is my birthday. So 12:33 is also Jesus on the cross. So there's this reference to Jesus and Mary Magdalene as the feminine and the masculine, and it's my birthday. The second entry was Hebrew gematria. Third entry was modern day Mary Magdalene. And the fourth entry was great work. So this one started at 11:37, which is the alignment of the King of Cups and unconditional love, the underlying energy of the bountiful harvest. The 20 of the house, the elephant, the Knight of Swords, and the twin flame choice of path, the preparations, the blanketing of the fields, the wake-up call to the house, the judgment, the big house, or the gated community. The elephants all beat up with flame in their trunk, clearing with each step they take, grid work, preparing house, to go on a trip perhaps. At 11:42, the alignment of the Two of Cups, of the magic wish, making that magic wish, to maintain your childlike spirit of inspiration, staying at that 0 point field. The 19, to shift your energy from ground to hovercraft, or hovering here. The 35, so you could be doing some remote viewing here. The 35 of, or grid work. So some will be doing hovering and remote view, and some will be doing grid work. So just perhaps literally traveling physically. The 35 of the Wounded Warrior, culminating a vision of Leo and Sag energy here, of the 28 of the bountiful harvest of the twins. The first card here of the 42, to let love be your beacon, to light up and blush, in the 10 of high vibe destiny, of opening your heart to swan love. The 36 of Atlas and intuition, and the flowered cap with Esther Williams and synchronized swim, where swim is the sine wave of 2 U's I am, or instant messaging. The twin flame duo, high vibe map of intent, where then there was one card of the 8 in the 8 dance, in a breakthrough dance of the butterflies, having butterflies in your stomach, the heart first into waves, unafraid, like heart first, jumping heart first into the waves, unafraid of the chaotic emotions or turbulence here, whether you're up in the air or on the ground. 11:50 is the alignment of the 10 of Cups, and the 32 of the journey of the 8 of Cups, walking away and within when needed in romance and mid-moon cycles, pinpointing the middle, the balance, or preparations at night or before the sun comes up. The dark night is when the moon is new, darkest before the dawn, and so on, or soon. Bad health or health care here, or bad heal to the nth degree. So whether you're heal or a bad healing, it didn't heal all the way. So there could be conflicts with this, or nursing issues here, or patient issues here. Taking orders and checklists. Present power woman with gifts of truth, messaging or massaging right hand, and then right hand to neck and heart, right center. So some of you this might help you. Massaging your right hand, and I brought that up as far as lower back. So one of the Qigong online people said to massage between your pinky and your 4th finger to relieve your lower back on both sides until the soreness goes away. But also I was getting the right foot. So I was massaging the sole of the foot on the inner side, and that was coming up as a heel issue. And here it was saying to massage your right hand, and then put your right hand on your neck, on your heart, but off to the right side a little bit. Or tap or massage both sides of your hands, right? The outer hand, meaning here, the outer hand here, tapping here. Or tapping or massaging both sides of the pinky into the hand part of, not just the finger, but the hand as well. And also gold was coming up today, as may be helpful to wear now as well. Also, if you're nursing, whether you're a nurse or nursing somebody, it was coming up as being important to have a window nearby or an open window nearby to either just be able to see out and see nature, or to have the fresh air come in. The left hand holds and points and cups. So here the left hand was coming up as holding, pointing, and cupping, which we brought up cupping before. And that was one of the Qigong techniques too. You don't use a flat hand, you use a cupped hand. They were talking about for stroke issues and heart attack issues on how to heal those things. And with the stroke, it was just it was cupping your hand. First clapping your hands 9 times like this to help with stroke issues. But you're supposed to do this You do it 9 times, but then you do the whole sequence 9 times. And that was for the heart thing. I don't think he said 9 times for the stroke, but I'll have to get his name again so I can tell you. But clapping 9 times, but with your hands cupped, okay? And then you would use the same cupped hand on the inner elbow 9 times, and then the other inner elbow, but you start on the left. And then the armpit with your other arm holding the back of your head, and then cupping your armpit on either side. That was that was for the stroke. See if I have him up on my thing, because I don't know what his name is. Let's see if he comes up on my thing. There's a couple good healing people, really good, who've come up recently. Okay, so this one is I think he was one of them is the motivational doc. That's his YouTube. And the other one was Asian. Let's see. Oh yeah, here he is. This one's called Awaken By. That's literally the YouTube channel. Awaken By, B-Y. So those two. So check them out if some of that stuff interests you. Okay. Okay. So again, the open window. So nature was coming up is really important here. Left hand holds and points and cups. Seeing a buck ready to climb the mountain, or seeing nature completes you. An energetic exchange, or with the arrows of love, or gives back to you, right? So you're making love by looking at nature. It's automatically giving back to you. Or it should be a part of your healthcare regime. There is great fortune that comes up here with the 26, the Page of Wands, the seed or the inspiration, a breath of fresh air at 12:01, the Hangman and the Magician, the Divine Masculine. Also gold coming up here, the Gold Rush, and a trophy or Screen Actors Guild Award. Making a list, checking it twice, going to find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town, or is that Santa Clara and Silicon Valley? Or is that Santa Ana in the LA area? But Claus, C-L-A-U-S, means key or nail, which I actually hammered a couple nails in today that were popping up. And it also means the F, which is the digamma, or the twin flame energy. Claus also means to clean, or the curly bracket. And of course, clause, you know, is an amend or a sentence. So Santa Claus is coming up as the saint, holy, or sand comes up as Santa as well, not just holy and saint, but the word sand. So saint, holy, or sand, to clean, or key. So saint, key, or twin flame, the F, which is 1 equal to clay. Clay us, which is a statue of us. A water bearer brings gold. The ancient wise one, water to the desert. And this could be bringing water to UK, because remember that this big dry space in the UK that's at war is all dry because there's an ark underneath, which has sucked all the water out of the land, and they never understood why there was no green life there. So that's coming up here now as well. And of course the Statue of Liberty is coming up because there's this statue, this clay rendering of us. But St. Claus, the key, the nail in the coffin, so to speak, the final nail of the F, the twin flames, the digamma, to clean, or to purify, to transmute the energies. As I literally told you, I hammered nails in today. I closed the coffin. And clout also means a sentence, an amend, but also a sentence. It's the energy of the water bearer that brings gold, the ancient wise one, the water to the desert, big rock, statuesque, mountain well water is like hitting gold. So again, the reference of being near a mountain so you can drink well water. Nature is self-love, spiritual love, and diving deep to bring emotions up from the root, to clean them out. That still waters run deep. And again, well water here. A view of the mountains inspiring or in spring, The truth of the buck, the deer, the mountain, CM, and the writing on the wall of JC and Mary Magdalene. Where JC, if you write the letters JC, it's like the toroidal field. It's the torus with direction. So the JC is coming up as power and the direction of the torus, and the Mary Magdalene is the mountains and the valleys, the peaks and the crevices. The star and the flow, the star of the show, the peak, the climax, the summit, and then the fallout, the cleanup afterwards. The hard climb, or you could see the hard climb as a good workout. And then the fall on the other side of the mountain, which you can also see as the rollout, the ski run, or a good workout because now you're working out the other set of muscles that you didn't on the way up. The 24 of the Queen of Wands, the Omega, the Pleiades, and the Thief, or the to the nth degree here, IEF, which I looked up, means India, expedition forces. India expeditionary or something like forces. Very interesting, huh? So India, so a mountain in India could be coming up here as well. And then I got a flashback to JP from Michael Sala's channel, because he's the one who always gives him reports about the arcs under the ocean and the Indians that had gotten into the ark when they couldn't get into the room because they had a higher vibration. So again, the Indians were coming up here, and this is Shawnee Mountains. So the Shoshanes and the Shawnee Mountain, the Indians in the mountains coming up. But it's also coming up as the white woman who stole his heart. And that brought up dancing with wolves, with the 24 and the Queen of Wands here, that the 2 and the 4 are the numbers of the space between, right? 2 is 1, 2, 3, and then 3 is 4, 5. The space between 2 you and 4 me. Or is this the streetwalker, the child with cards or tricks to get you to pay attention to them? The 8 of Swords, release, and the wake-up call to nature and flowers, even a terrarium, even if your allergies exist, so that your eyes can take it in. The fountains and the statues of angels, and the secret garden. The 7 of the key and the gamma and the boomerang, a message in a bottle or sealed document with a clause in it. Right? Is that an amend or a sentence? Make sure you're sure before sealing the deal. Open drawer policy and sealed with a kiss. The key gamma wave, the vehicle, sounds like a car or house, or key to their heart is a home and a car, or perhaps travel. The big house can come up here as well, or a tutor, gardens or public event, and invites, could be a wedding here, and a wake-up call and or judgment on both sides, or big cleanup inside and out. 3 2s here, as in 2 2 2, and 7 to 4 energies, which reference the crown to the heart, so coming back down, and the key to the lambda leap. The key that is there, the key to the lambda leap is that there's no place like home, and 2020 vision with key disclosures between home and garden to catch a thief or cold one, or moving from the big city to more nature, and crowning self with self-love and well wishes. With bucks or buckets of gold, or California gold miners, the 49ers, or those satisfied with themselves, or the Psycho House coming up here in Universal Studios, which may be a specific message for you. Or are you going to be like the gold miners, or are you going to be in the Psycho House going nuts? Or is that someone in your life? At 1 2 3 4, shut the door. 1234 is the energy of the hanging man in energetic exchange, the arrows of love. And the 24 of the main female, reflecting swans, as the Queen of Wands, High Priestess, and or the Page of Cups. The 28 of the man of power, with a heart of gold, but doesn't show it. And the Aquarius fire and Pisces here, reflecting swans times 2. 24 and 42 also came up right here, which were actually my mom and dad's soul numbers. The Gemini twins, Pisces and higher self, as well as Esther Williams, as well as Sagittarius and Virgo here. And intuition, the intuit connection of the twin towers of you and I in connection at 12:38. So both the Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups comes up, because Mary Magdalene can come up as two different sides, right, in her heart and in her crown. She comes up as the, the fiery one. When he goes into his Page of Cups, or his vulnerable spot, right, she becomes empowered as that fiery one. But otherwise, she comes up as the 38 Queen of Cups in her heart. And the intuit connection, and again, Lilith is here. So there's the energy of Lilith and Mary Magdalene. So we had 28 twice here, and 20 twice, and the 24 and 42, as well as the swans times 2 with different numbers on them. Libra, Leo, Aquarius, and Pisces, perhaps Sag and Virgo too. Aquarius may be psycho or at home going psycho, with 2, 2, and 1 cards here at the end. 22 of the Queen of Pentacles with a choice of 2 doors. Now home or room is complete. And the Fool with an open heart and a leap of faith with Aries and Pisces, and a living room or room to live or leave. And I was just getting live and let die. Ocean and or wide open spaces on a high vibe journey to the stars. Conductor of the train or trunks or tour guide of sudden stardom, the Holy Grail, and Hollywood. All right, so Holy Grail is the hole at the Y in the road, and the G rail of the spiral rail, the resonance of the tunnel, and then the Hollywood, which is the holy wood of having sex. And then the journey, which is jour, day, and then NEY is nay. So the day of Mr. Ed, which is Hollywood. Thomas the Tank Engine and supernovas, 6 of Cups, besties. Aries, Pisces, Libra, Scorpio, Gemini here, and a mature woman. A leap to complete destiny of sudden love or towering community. Or Aries, Pisces, and Libra, Scorpio, kids with loving mother here. And all the numbers that came up right here were 20, 22, 24, 26, and 28. All about the twos, or by twos, 2 by 2s, except the 21, which is the leap to the 1 or the 3 of 21-3, which is also the feminine and the masculine, becoming more than they are alone. The divine feminine leap, or the divine feminine and divine masculine together create. The 1250, which is the hanging man and the 10 of cups. The underlying energy of the owl, the cosmic egg, zebra, rabbit, and elephant. The wisdom of the crown of collective awakening on the ground. The zebra and elephant with bunny between them, or a bun in the oven, or zebra who's pregnant. The owl, cozy, ray, Lafont, with BRR, ABB, with haunt, HANT, which means haunt or hand, grass, lawn, grave, person, or side. And kozer, to boil, bake, or cook. So the elephant may be a kozer here. And Lorena Bobbitt came up. So John Wayne Bobbitt was born in 1967. Lorena was born 69. They were married June 18th, 89. And the event where she cut off his penis was June 23rd, 93. Which is actually when I graduated from college. I mean, that's right at that time. I don't think I actually graduated till summer school, but because I had to take a couple more credits, but it's right around that time. Very interesting. So, of course, she still works with female abuse issues because of what happened to her with him. She was saying he was raping her and abusing her throughout their whole marriage, and he denied it, of course, but he still sends her Valentine's love letters or love notes and letters. Even she's with somebody else, but he still sends these things at Valentine's Day and such. Cosmic egg comes up, and this was according to that article. The cosmic egg, Z-Rabble was coming up. So was coming up as the rabbit rebel, because that came up the other day with the rebel. The Chebles are coming as the child rebels. So here is the rabbit rebel. So again, the child Chebel. And Epha came up, E-P-H-A, which means good. And Epha with an accent means Hebrew dry volume of about 23 liters. So there's the King of Wands again, and at the right angle. Zerabel with good explosive tendencies, or wisely decides to stay home and cuddle up. Fiery zebra with third eye against the grain, and fiery elephant, perhaps Hindu, or target practice, weathered and broken with flame in their trunk at 111. At 112, the first card here was the elk and their fiery temper, or perhaps they're a redhead, or likes to crown themselves, or wear hats. Or sun in fire sign, perhaps Queen of Wands with a temper when they don't eat right, with buffalo bill, or well-grounded, bulky animal. A lot of Taurus here. Perhaps one sun Taurus and one has Taurus in their chart, both looking back at the elephant's path with flame, preparing for their arrival. Watching along with the butterfly and the hummingbird, whispering in the butterfly's ear, transforming them, and clearing the air. A lot of buts here, too. But, or excuses. The elephant finally makes it home, but will they have to go back to fight again, or to deliver a message? With 6 cards here, the oyster, peacock, fish, the mouse and crocodile, and the scorpion at the bottom of the pyramid. The oyster clammed up, putting their feelers out. Perhaps the pretty peacock with is a fish out of water here, and that's why they're putting their feelers out. Or a Pisces energy. Or maybe they're up to something, or something's fishy here. With mouse or moose hiding, and crocodile smiles, biting off their nose to spite their face at 121, the divine masculine at the leap to the world, or a feminine and masculine together. The mouse staying under cover, but the croc is slashing around uncontrollably as the scorpion brings their stinger out to play. LL, but, heard it through the grapevine. A croc of you-know-what, or a sting at play, or everyone's waiting on the elephant to make it, except the scorpion who's ready to shock or jump someone going forward, or would be shocked if it actually happened, so they're not even thinking that. Or thinks the others are idiots or losers. Or this is no man left behind, and Ellie is closing the distance gap, or ran a marathon and came in last. But they finished. At 128, the leap to the twins. The King of Swords is getting the Knight of Wands to go back and help. And that could be coming from the Emperor to save the day. Sending the Knight of Pentacles forward to help stressed out Scorpion, ready to snap, or to help one's sister, or one who's suffering in silence or stressed out. The Dark Knight is left behind as the Dark Knight, or Scorpio, runs roughshod over anyone in their path or way to get to the Two of Cups, Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles, so that the Queen of Swords and Knight of Swords can spar or clear the air, or have some intellectual conversation. Or the Dark Knight Scorpio is willing to ride right over the Queen of Cups and Queen of Pentacles if they don't get out of their way, so that they can get to the Queen of Swords and or Knight of Swords, who may charge them or charge at them, perhaps Libra or in court. With Justice of the Page of Pentacles, student, researcher, child, invitation or opportunity to the King of Cups, or to learn unconditional love. Or Libra is the Knight of Swords rushing back with a delivery or urgent message, or on house arrest, or going for a visit. While opportunity lies with the King of Cups, or unconditional love of the High Priestess, who's happy with keeping to themselves, or Gemini and Pisces finding their way, as the Knight of Cups offers love to the Empress, or Mother, or Taurus and Page of Wands inspires the King of Pentacles. So the Knight of Cups offers love to the Empress or a Mother, or Taurus, and the Page of Wands inspires the King of Pentacles, or invites or sent out to bring the Magician and Hermit together, while the Wounded Warrior looks both ways, or the young, that could be a lookout too, or the young manifesting with the elders, the young with the tools or collecting them individually and bringing to the elders or advisors. Now what do we have here? Or kids have cups and wands and a pentacle, but need the sword or the DNA strand or the mezuzah, perhaps. This can also be hot merchandise exchange or a heavily guarded sale of merchandise, or a yard or garage sale where people are just paranoid things are going to walk off with their stuff. Figuring out what they love to do. The Queen of Wands may be a redhead or a hothead or just hot or blushing Cancer perhaps, or taking the show on the road or antique roadshow, or a trip to free child or Aries as Capricorn waves with the King of Wands on the other end. Here we have the Queen and King again as we started as bookends, with Cancer, Aries, and Capricorn between them, or driving to temptation to set them or each other free, with 24 and 28 in 2023. The Page of Swords steps it up as the Sovereign gives them a passionate opportunity or choice. Or the King of Wands sends a message offering a choice of path of independence or for them to be single. Maybe they're breaking up with someone. Or the King of Wands sending off the Queen of Wands on a trip or paying them off to leave. Perhaps paying for a trip or to travel around the world or across the country, with the Page of Cups, Six of Cups, or perhaps going to Hollywood with the kids. Independent Divine Feminine, or Pisces with loving message for best friend, soulmate, or sibling. Or Cancer, Pisces, and Capricorn always come back together in the end, with fiery bookends here, or bookies. Or fiery family and water family coming together, but the wounded warrior is guarded, jealous, or doesn't want to share with the other kids. Or water sign going to mother and fire sign going to father to plead their cases, as the hermit mediates or lets them know if there's value here. Or there could be a valuation here of high-priced property or merchandise, or insuring or auctioning for an estate sale. Someone doesn't want them to get their grubby little hands on it, but the ones they're talking about are actually very sweet, kind, and loving. Or there's puppy love here at 2 o'clock on the dot, which is double zeros of source energy backing up the Divine Feminine. All right, this is a long one. We're already at 3 hours, and I still have the 7-deck read on the table for you guys. But that's pretty short. All right, so I'll do this as a pick one. So I'll put up there's actually 4 card reads, but I gave you a 5th one as well. So I'll actually put 5 of them up there. And I'll try to list the times there so you can do that. All right. So this is the 7-deck read on the table for the Twin Flames. And this one is exclusively the Twin Flames. Make sure I'm pulling up the right one. Yep. All right, so here's the read on the table so you can see it from a better angle if you need to. And this one started out at the night of the 18th at 7:53, which is the Chariot and the Knight of Swords. And at 8:02, ASCENSION came up, which is sense connection. And it's on was coming up. So the sense connection is on at 8:02, which is the dance of the feminine with space between. But I wrote 8:01 and then 8:02, so it's the masculine feminine connection with space between. And then I finished clarifying at 8:54, or excuse me, 8:24, which is the dance of the Queen of Wands, or the spaces between the 2 and the 4. And the major arcana here were guidance, which is the Hierophant, Ascension, which is the world, Karma, which is judgment, is before the read, and then Chariot was after the read. There was 1 wand, 4 swords, 3 cups, and 1 pentacle, which is 14 and 31, which is the Temperance card and the group, having patience, or maybe dealing with patience. And then we have in the read the King of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the Page of Cups, King of Cups, and then before the read was the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Wands. After the read, the Queen of Cups and the Page of Swords, and the 9 of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. And the numbers, we had double 1s, double 3s, 6s, 8s, and 9s. 11, which is Justice, 33, the Christ vibration, and the 7 of Wands, standing up for oneself. The 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, the 88 of the twins dancing side by side, both already integrated between their masculine and feminine. And then the 99 of great compassion and endings, and getting closer to God or Source. There's also the energy of the 13 of transition, the 12 of the hanging man, the 23 of the king of wands, the 36 of the Atlas energy, 10 of wands, 68 of the page of pentacles, or opportunity, and the 89 of the phi energy of expanding and contracting or staying in the middle, reflecting instead. The code line was all about surrender, which was broken up into sue and render, so that somebody could be suing for a rear ender. And the code line was all about 92 and 80, which was 86 and 6. So somebody definitely may be getting 86'd out here regarding lovers or love, family, and community. And 92 is the reflection of 29, which is that 3 of wands of being present in the moment or waiting for the ship to come in. And 92 could be waiting for it to go out or leave. So the messages came up here as an oath or show of power in the high road, 86ing the King of Swords, to be or imagine the Six of Cups inner children in a sweet surrender. And I wrote station, but I was getting static surrender, so like that suspended animation energy of surrender. Water, egg, a pinch of this, a pinch of that, a caress to the nth degree. Neither 86th King of Swords nor Six of Cups, but ladder to surrender, or star in surrender, or sue in rear ender. A land without dung to sow wild oats. A place or camp came up here, as well as the now moment. To take the high road in the dance of the lovers, mastering their thoughts to become the Six of Cups stars and surrender. And the other energies that were coming up around the definitions for this one was the now moment was the I, the two souls, the life, the spirit, not even, the nephew coming up here, the number 9, the day, water, new, young, head of hair, and to be, us and we, all came up referencing there. So we started out with the guidance card, upright, which is beneath the little cards here. And beneath that, at 854, which is the dance of the Page of Swords, or the mercurial energy of Gemini and Virgo, or the messenger, we have guidance with, below that is the Starseed, and the Ace of Cups reversed, the Queen of Swords upright, Karma reversed, the Knight of Wands upright, and the Three of Cups upright. So the Starseed is overwhelmed or dumped by the Queen of Swords, or pushed to their emotional limit, with Aquarius in their chart, or needed to swallow their pride, with the Knight of Wands upright to come together and commit and or come together with guidance or a guidance counselor. Or dumped Queen of Swords and ran off with the Knight of Wands, Aries upright, Aquarius reversed, and Taurus upright, or going to the guidance counselor, like I said before, to present the truth or to share the past or get to the past. With the Page of Cups reversed, rejection or difficult child and surrendering to it, or perhaps it was a shotgun wedding. In the recent past, with boredom and suddenly paid off in surrender to knowing of an awakening or peace of mind and suddenly woke up, or stuck coming full circle, destined to get over grief or loss or regret of lover, Queen of Swords, or Gemini. What God has brought together, let no man put asunder. Or over the fact that the Queen of Swords has abilities they don't understand, or channeling Gabriel or Adam and Eve, with a molehill between them and a small mess to clean up. Her fruitful tree and his burning bush, and rolling out the natural carpet, or carpet, or a session that actually cleared their head, or was crying and saw archangel wings in their room, where the worst is over of the Page of Pentacles reversed, overexposure to dumping a load, or tired of all one flavor of being vanilla and no sun and out of control children, pets, and or ego or Leo reversed, or the bliss of 2 kids letting it all go without a care. With Cancer, Scorpio upright, Pisces or Capricorn reversed here, but also Pisces upright, Libra upright, and Gemini upright as well. The Knight of Wands coming together with guidance of the Queen of Swords upright to take a load off, release their burdens, with playfulness, and beneath that was healing family issues. So after healing the family issues, the playfulness comes out after being silenced. And that could be a family who silenced you. The Queen of Wands upright as I whistled, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, as the Queen of Wands is stripping or in a strip search or trying to turn on the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who's not having it and dissatisfied. And they're not satisfied with them putting it all out there to lovers out in the cold. Twisted pillar to twisted pillar, extending an olive branch, or the Queen of Wands no longer receiving friendly advice after being silenced by arrogance, or the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who may be mad that they're not getting their way, with woman flashing her ass for others to sample, just to get them to make up with them, or get them to romance her, or her secret affair. And this can also be like people who are together who play games with each other, right, to get back at the other. So they'll flirt with other people to get the other's attention. That could be coming up as well. So a new beginning is here, an environment, a green environment perhaps, with 1 and 44, the masculine and her harvest. As the Queen of Cups is reversed with Scorpio in their chart perhaps, or doing healing work, but uncomfortable with emotions of leaving the 6 of Cups or children or soulmate behind, the fond memories, but those fond memories may have all been a deception. The cat is watching in the flower beds, perhaps an evil deception of a magician or Gemini reversed, or Cancer reversed energies here, so very manipulative at least. Or the Queen of Cups reversed with Cancer, Gemini or Virgo in their chart, or water sign kids, or just Aquarius energy emotionally detached, and they're great at work but not emotionally. It could be an evil manipulator or extremely insecure that may come off as evil, and the 4 of Wands home with the 2 of Cups upright, struggling to find the truth of the clingy Queen of Cups reverse star or healer at 933 of the Hermit and the Christ consciousness or Christ energy there. At 934, the energetic exchange or hours of love and the Hermit of going within, the one and the all. The Empress home with soulmate connection with Pisces and or Capricorn and the truth of Scorpio reversed, and the Queen of Cups reversed, or the never-ending story after death or near-death experience. And healing workplace or healing at the workplace, unable to walk away from soul tie who maybe have been manipulating them. Maybe up really early or at the new moon. And the new moon was on the Mercury went direct on the 18th, but the new moon is today, the 21st. At 03:55 Eastern Standard Time. So what time is it? Yeah, it's past already. So we've reached the new moon already today. Capricorn or with guidance here, which can also be Taurus energies. Capricorn with guidance or commitment or an appointment with the Queen of Swords to release burdens of being left behind, injured, ill, or exiled, and new beginnings. Or the Queen of Cups reversed and the Queen of Swords is upright, dropping burdens to meet up with the Queen of Wands down the road for a new beginning. The Knight of Wands is upright, rushing back to the 6 of Cups sibling. The Page of Wands is upright with the Emperor reversed, retiring or fell or dropped the ball, holding back an announcement about the 2 of Cups separation with the King of Wands reversed, or Mother took off, leaving the Emperor reversed with the kids, or the Emperor reversed is the grandparent with kids while the King of Wands reversed is dealing with a separation. The recent past here is the Page of Cups reversed, dumped, broken, and left behind with the choice to be weak or offer time, money, and energy to group who's tempted by the devil or perhaps bad influences. Defensive to secret passion, the Page of Cups reversed, free to leap into the fire, as the Page of Wands group may be given an ultimatum or a crazy party and mayhem broke out with the kids. That could be an adult party too, though. And then the foundation here of the 9 of Swords of suffering and silence, stressed out, or a sister, unable to sleep, uncomfortable with their emotions of standing up for themselves in energetic exchange, or the hours of love, or the busyness, especially if someone's been sleepless, of working at a busy place, with the Queen of Cups upright, awakened, and or Pisces or Capricorn in their chart. The central energy of the 6 of Wands with the King of Swords upright, who could be Capricorn there, maybe leading the way here with the Six of Cups, getting schooled by the enemy and a dysfunctional family of the King of Pentacles. Maybe breakup revenge or feeding new life into the group or crowd, challenged by the King of Swords upright, leaving them out in the cold, suffering in silence or dealing with sister, but now the worst is over. Or the Nine of Cups and Ten of Cups are both reversed here. So they're both dissatisfied, alone with self, and or in an unhappy family situation, or ending an emotional cycle with no peace for the King of Wands reverse player, or leading by force or spreading his seed. And now the King of Cups is upright with jealous Empress reversed, or child with mother, or mother who miscarried after out of control rage or jealous rage. The King of Cups upright, keeping cards close to their chest in a separation, perhaps working late on justice or a divorce, or secret passion and 5D connection, at rest or in meditation, or sister's jealousy, or Taurus reversed, Scorpio reversed, Pisces reversed, rejection, and the King of Cups upright, leaving all of that behind. After sudden jealous rage, or dumping multiple loads, or throwing all of their stuff away, frustration, abuse, no growth, or weak, the Fool taking off for a date, perhaps with twin, and the Ten of Pentacles reverse, family, business, or community, dysfunction or loss, with the King of Pentacles unable to manifest in the past, or the King of Pentacles with Virgo or Gemini in their chart, looking back, unable to walk away from the abuse that they were living with the Ace of Wands reversed. And now the King of Cups with unstable home, with the Knight of Wands upright and the Page of Swords reversed, without a leg to stand on, dropping the ball or breaking patterns with the Knight of Wands who's bored in separation, or with the World, Divine Feminine, Pisces, or the neighborhood, third party coming full circle, or 5D dream girl, injustice of releasing the hostage or hostage situation, or the injustice of the Queen of Swords healing the Queen of Pentacles, of dreaming of the Queen of Pentacles sister, or stressed nightmare, dumping emotional attachments to drama over work and things that aren't working out. So soon here is the Eight of Swords upright, hiding in the woods. The Page of Wands, inspired by the Page of Swords reversed, getting them to swallow their pride at the last full moon, and or to set them free. And the Page of Swords reversed may be an Aquarius, sharing or settling out with their twin or themselves in double jeopardy. The King of Swords, challenged by the King of Swords, or himself, that could be two air signs there, his self or twin, or the inner children. The Knight of Wands reversed is back on the horse to bring good news, to find inspiration, to get past negative self-talk at night. With Aquarius upright and reversed, Cancer upright, and Aries upright and reversed, understanding the different aspects of themselves. Every king is upright here, has a page that's reversed. But the King of Wands is reversed, and the Page of Wands is upright and good. Each needing to find their inner child and set them free. As the twin flames in the Three of Swords separation in a storm of the heart, the King of Swords without tools to deal with their emotions and insecure with manipulation or their own manipulation, or with Gemini or Virgo in their chart, partnering to deal with issues at work with the Knight of Pentacles reversed and the Nine of Pentacles reversed, dependence driving them crazy, or with a parent with dementia, over isolating and keeping to themselves. With Gemini and Virgo both reversed, one could be a control freak and the other over isolating to keep their energy clear. Or the King of Swords is upright, the Magician reversed are partners with issues at work, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed with the Nine of Pentacles reversed may be siblings over isolating and keeping to themselves in separation, heartbreak, or disappointment. That could be any two earth signs as well. So very soon, codependency, worth waiting for, and this could be the one, all came up for the twins. Around them or how they're seen is the Eight of Pentacles reversed, not working out, holding on, saving, or being practical to come clean or clean up and move with the King of Swords, Dark Knight, or Scorpio, or instability of a move after a death, ending, or transition. The block here is the Six of Cups, challenged by the King of Swords and blocked by the Six of Cups, which can be a soulmate or children, or the fond memories, and past lives as well. And the child or twin is freeing themselves from the Emperor reversed, or one refusing to be a part of this. With surrender, but even more so, adventure and compassion, the Page of Cups reversed may be going crazy, unable to express themselves to their children or to their twin. With the world complete coming together, with Lover or Pisces and Gemini, the Queen of Cups may be broken or planning a trip with the Two of Cups, Page of Swords reversed, surrendering to a creative block or frustrations, abuse, or no growth to allow their destiny to come in. The Queen of Cups, Pisces, after drama or sudden event and things not working out, may be patient and committed to reap rewards and get over loss and regret of the Queen of Wands turning away from them, or the Queen of Cups with Cancer in their chart may be partnering up with the Page of Swords reversed, Wounded Warrior, who's surrendering to their blocks and frustrations, or transmuting one wound at a time, which is destined here at 1116 of Justice and sudden events or epiphanies, or alignment with them. The Knight of Wands coming together with guidance, perhaps the Queen of Swords, a sister or suffering in silence, or a sister in separation and things not working out, with the Page of Cups reversed and the Six of Wands upright, the challenge being the King of Swords hiding in the woods with the Six of Cups and the King of Cups, which can be a father and their children, coming full circle with the Queen of Cups, Pisces, or with Cancer in their chart. The King of Cups could also be a Pisces. The Page of Cups may be stuck with Two of Cups connection or partner, with the Page of Swords reversed and the Wounded Warrior reversed, surrendering to rumors and lack of growth and or abuse. But all is destined. And again, there could have been a car accident as well. But again, whatever happened is coming up here at the end of this read. The last card is destiny. It's the Wheel of Fortune. So even if something negative happened, it is getting you to where you need to be. So it's surrendering to your frustrations and our human need to block, the negative things, as opposed to allowing them and loving them, knowing it's taking us in a better direction. And this was complete at 1141, which is aligning with the Holy Grail and self-love, spiritual love, and new love. All right, so I'm going to let you go because that was already way too much today at 3 hours, 21 and 44 seconds. So 21 is written 21-3. And then the 44 of her harvest. So the Empress, the world, and her harvest, as it just changed to 22, as the Fool opens their heart into a leap of faith on the journey. Very beautiful message. There's your message closing. I do have to give you one card because I did say I would do oracle cards. So I'm going to give you one energy card. Just one. Just one. And again, Virgo, Aquarius, and Libra here. And balance. There's two here. Attachment and rest and rejuvenation. The 5 of change, of expansion and freedom, and the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy, and then 19 is Leo. So the fixed energies are coming up here. So this energy over here of the Sun, or perhaps a Leo energy, meditating, getting a vacation or rest. And then over here, learning to detach, and there's Hierophant energy over there of Taurus, or just finding their freedom, like taking off the mask so they can be their true selves. And again, the feminine and the masculine be represented here. It could be the opposite way as well. So there's the energy, and we have the dark mother energy at the bottom, judgment, and there's that Aquarius. That could be the one who's going psycho. So it could be a judgmental mother or partner who's envious and maybe like Elena Bobbitt. I don't know. I hope not. But there is that interference here. And whether this is a couple who's breaking up because they're finding their own space, or whether this is the twin flames coming together, that can be as well. There's definitely Taurus and Leo energies here, and Aquarius in the psycho house. Oh my God, look at that. Underneath the dark mother in the psycho house is the psycho. So I don't know if someone's literally going to the lot to see the psycho house, but there's a man holding a heart here. Right? So originally the Sun was the man holding a heart, grieving, loss and regret, and then turning to deceit here. Or is this somebody else? And again, right? This can also be someone with their mother. This is a mother and a wife here. This could be a very loving man who got caught up with this wife and this mother, which would be a very sad situation. But it also could just be the psycho house or someone's mother or partner going psycho. So I hope that's not the case for you. But there may be someone in someone's life, it may not be your life, it might be the other person's life, who's like this. And that was the energy they wanted to keep you away from. And this is also the door to value underneath that, right? Of this masculine energy here, really needing to know what's important to him. Of this angel of love to know what's important to her, right? Because here was this energy here. Where's the little girl I used to know, or the young girl I used to know, or is this his daughter? But there's very, making sure you know what you value. And then this is the underlying energy. Are these the two that we just looked at? Right? So it could be like father, daughter, mother, son type of energies. All right, guys. Remember your water. Remember your rest, your joy, your nature, right? All of those things contribute to your happiness every day, right? It'll be your birthday. It's Thanksgiving every day. Enjoy every day in happiness. Be good to yourselves. Follow your own intuition, always, first and last. And rise and be love. Love and rise. It's in their eyes. Bye, guys. I'll see you soon.